brought to you by Bill Swad. We are on the east side tonight as Pickerington takes on Reynoldsburg in an OCC Capital matchup. Hi, everybody. I'm Randy Reinhardt along with Tom McDonald. Tom, it's here week number 10 of the high school football season, and a great one tonight from the east side as Pickerington, with a record of 5-4, takes on Reynoldsburg. They are 8-1. And tonight we're going to focus on the coaches. When you talk about Pickerington, you talk about a guy who's looking for a milestone tonight. Jack Johnson is 99, 77, and 3 in 18 years at Pickerington High School.
Randy, he's really provided stability to the Pickerington program. He's a great competitor. I talked to him earlier this week. He kind of downplayed this and wanted to brag about his kids more than anything else. But you know he's excited about number 100.
And Ron Klinger, the tailback, needs only 60 yards to reach 1,000 on the season. Meanwhile, for Reynoldsburg, they are 8-1 on the year. Their head coach is Bob Stewart in his third year at Reynoldsburg, but 36 years coaching overall. He's got over 200 wins in his career.
He sure does, Randy, and it's obvious why. He builds programs the right way. He's got this Reynoldsburg community all excited. They got great support tonight, and I'm looking for a great effort from them also.
And this should be their best season in 25 years at least if they could win tonight, and their tailback Carl Scott is only 13 yards away from 1,000 on the season. Now, Tom, one late update as we tape this Friday night at 7:07 p.m., a decision that was handed down today by the Ohio High School Athletic Association Board of Control. They have reversed their decision on the Worthington High School football situation. They had a player that played on the team for the first 5 weeks who lived outside the area. Originally, the Board of Control decided to let the first 5 wins stand for Worthington, but just fine the school. Now, late this afternoon, on Friday, as we speak, they reversed their decision after Chillicothe and Piqua went to the Board of Control. Worthington was then told they'd have to forfeit those first 5 games, but they would not have to pay the $500 fine. But both the OHSAA and Worthington High School were armed with attorneys and both headed downtown, so this one is far from over. But it could have great ramifications for the playoffs. We'll keep you posted. But we're getting ready for week number 10 of high school football as Pickerington takes on Reynoldsburg, and we'll be back with a kickoff right after this. Welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School, just about ready for the kickoff in tonight's contest between Pickerington and Reynoldsburg. Pickerington will receive because Reynoldsburg won the toss and they've deferred their option until the second half. So Pickerington, going from left to right on your screen, is, yes, we are in the home of the Raiders, high atop Reynoldsburg High School. This is our location. You can see the arms waving there near the center of your screen. Randy Reinhardt and Tom McDonald, glad to have you aboard for high school football 1990, week number 10. Reynoldsburg, as we said, with a record of 8-1 on the season. Pickerington is 5-4. More importantly, in the league right now, Reynoldsburg with a record of 5-1, second in the OCC Capital behind Chillicothe. Pickerington at 4-2, looking for perhaps a tie of second place if they could win tonight over Reynoldsburg. And as we told you in the open, the situation's so much in the air now with the playoffs. Chillicothe and Piqua now perhaps with a shot. We don't know what's going to happen with Worthington. As of Friday at around 5 p.m., told that they would have to forfeit their first 5 contests of the season, as we learned earlier today from sources with the Ohio High School Athletic Association and from Chillicothe High School. So we'll update you on that. You'll probably want to check your papers this weekend because by Sunday, this thing could all change. But one thing that won't change is this contest. It's week number 10, and here we go, ready to go as the Raiders will boot it. That is Klinger back at his 6-yard line. We're on to the 10, 15, right up the middle, 20, 25, Klinger 30, 35, 40, Klinger 45, all the way out to the 47-yard line, making the stop, number 14, Jason McLean, as the Tigers will take over on offense, 1st and 10 as we set them up for you offensively. Up front, the split end is Todd Cheney. It's Harp, Elifritz, Robinson, Yurko, Balco, and Fitzgerald, the tight end, a great one. The flanker is Jeff Cordell. In the backfield, the quarterback is Hornberger, just a sophomore. Hanover, the fullback, and Klinger, who just returned the kick, is the starting tailback. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. The backs from an eye. Hornberger stumbles, goes back. He's looking for help. He can't find anybody. Gets away, but he'll go down back around the 42-yard line. The guy who did not get the sack but really made that play was Mike Roberts, the defensive end. As we take a look at the Raiders and their 4-4 defense, it'll be Roberts, Love, Hubbard, and Coles up front. The next 7 look like this. Glass, Hartman, Guzman, and Mobley. Watch for Hartman and Guzman. Those 2 inside linebackers are outstanding. Denny, Downard, and Anderson great in the secondary as well. Let's call it a loss of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15 with the ball back at the 42. Hornberger, pressure again, right up the middle. The ball stripped away. He gets it back, but he is brought down. This time the guy making the play, Tom McDonald, was number 59, Steve Hubbard.
That's right, Randy, and Jack Johnson's decided to go to the air, or planned to go to the air early. He's had 3 wide receivers on both these first and second down, and actually they've been well covered by Reynoldsburg's 2-deep zone.
Hubbard goes 6'4", 240, and makes the stop.
This really puts him in a bad situation after that great kickoff return by Klinger. It's got 3rd and about 22. You'll see on the replay the ball was loose, but alertly it was recovered.
3rd down, let's call it just about 23 now. Hornberger straight back again, short drop, pressure's on, gets away, rolls to his right, he's got some room. And now he's going to go down, wrapped around the 31-yard line, making the tough hit there, number 43, Chad Hartman.
Great defense by the Reynoldsburg Raiders. I'll tell you, if they're going to if their game plan is to pass tonight, they're going to have to give him a lot more time, or they're going to be scrambling the whole night.
Hartman, the leading tackler on the team, but I don't think if it mattered really that it was Hartman, because there was pressure from the word go on this play.
There sure was. This time he looked to the 1 receiver side, which is pretty smart because they're double covering. It looks like the 2 receiver side, but once again, no room or no time to throw.
Sean Coles was the first guy in there. As it's punting time right now, Ernie Eichhorn on to punt for the Tigers. Nice kick by Ernie. And miscommunication between the Raider deep backs, between Downard and Scott. It will bounce and be downed around the 33-yard line after that 37-yard punt. 1st and 10 now for the Raiders as we set up Reynoldsburg on offense for this contest. Up front, Canes, the split end, is just a sophomore. Across the front, it's Hubbard, Rodenmeyer, Venice, Parsons, Siegel, and Lois. In the backfield, the quarterback, Jeff Stewart, no relation to the head coach, Hartman, Scott, and Cummings, a good one at flanker.
And did you notice, Randy, just 2 seniors amongst the whole bunch of offensive personnel for the Raiders.
Very, very young. The handoff goes to the first man through the fullback, and he will be stood up right around the original line of scrimmage. On the carry is number 43, Chad Hartman. Defensively for the Tigers of Pickerington, a 40 defense with Elifritz, Balco, Sainz, and Vipperman up front. The linebackers are Wayhoff, Fitzgerald, Yannicek, and Alliger. In the secondary, it's Clark, Cheney, and Klinger.
Right, and I think Mr. Matt Fitzgerald took over right where he left off. He was in on that first hit, and he's a great one at the middle linebacker spot for Pickerington.
A gain of 1, let's call it 2nd and 9. 2 tight end offense by the Raiders. This goes to Carl Scott. Scott off the right side, cuts it inside, gets it up to about the 35, and that's about it.
That sure was. That's a sweep to the tight end side, not the wing side. These are weak side, and really it was very well contained by Pickerington's defensive line.
Pickerington, the record of 5-4. As we said, the Raiders of Reynoldsburg 8-1, looking for a 9-1 season.
Okay, you'll see it's a toss sweep where they toss it to the tailback. He made a nice move just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Showed a lot of quickness on that play.
And Fitzgerald going over the top to make the stop. 3rd down now. Let's call it a long 8 with 8:07 left to go first quarter. Stewart looks. The pass is incomplete. No, I think it was trapped. It was trapped by Cheney. The pass was intended for number 20, Jeff Cummings.
Good jump on the ball by the Pickerington defense. You know, that was a play designed just to pick up the 1st down yards. A smart call on Coach Stewart's part. Would have had the 1st down if he could have caught it and carried it for a couple yards. But
so now it'll be Kevin Seitz on to punt, averaging just about 34 yards per kick. Twin safeties deep now for the Tigers. Good snap. Kick is not that long. Advanced by Cheney from the 38 up to the 41, and that is about it. 27 yards on that kick.
I imagine his eyes got pretty big when he saw the great picket fence there that Reynoldsburg provided. He wasn't going to get through that one.
Do you realize between these 2 head coaches, Tom McDonald, we have 313 career victories?
Well, you won't find that anywhere else, or very few places in the state of Ohio, or any state for that matter. It's just 2 outstanding men that have done the job.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Let's see if the Tigers now elect to go on the ground after their lack of success through the air. Motion in the backfield, and that man was legal, but we also had motion in the line, it looked like, of the Tigers. We'll sort this one out.
I thought it was in the line of the Raiders, but maybe it wasn't the Tigers. Looked to me like they may have encroached, but you're right.
Encroachment to call on the Tigers. Take a look at this one more time. Nope. Now they say it's on the Raiders. They changed the signal. There it is, left side of the defensive front. Another great call by Tom McDonald.
Boy, not giving you credit and everything. Well, that's the most yards. Of course, that's the only yards they've gained tonight so far, Pickerington. They actually, both teams have a total of about 2 yards net offense to this point. So we're hoping to see a little more offensive action here in the 10th week of the season.
It is Parents' Night here at Reynoldsburg High School, and you'll see some of the band from Reynoldsburg High School and from Pickerington entertaining at halftime, along with the Sports Medicine Grant players of the game. 1st and 5 from the 46. The backs are split. Hornberger straight back. He's looking. Passes caught or trapped by Cheney. No, they say it was trapped at the 49-yard line. I think originally he was looking for Cordell, but he got hit, and Cheney nearly came up with that ball at the 49.
He sure did. Reynoldsburg, once again, tremendous pressure. This time they only sent 2 receivers out, keeping the tight end Fitzgerald in the block, but it still wasn't enough. They still got a hand on the quarterback, as you see right there, or a hand on the ball. And boy, that was real close to a great catch. It wouldn't have been too many yards.
Let's call it 2nd down and 5 now, with the ball resting at the 46-yard line as we put you ground level. That's Klinger. Across midfield, Ron all the way down to the Raider 47-yard line, and that is enough for a Pickerington first down.
Sure was, Randy. 7 yards on their first running play of the night, and it was a nice cutback by Klinger off a great block by Brian Hanover on the corner.
Remember, Ron needed just 60 yards on the season to go over 1,000. He had 182 carries for 940 yards.
In the replay, you'll see this is Pickerington's version of the toss sweep. Cuts back off the block there and gets plus yardage. Nice 7-yard gain.
Cheney and Cordell to the top. There's Klinger. Misdirection. It goes to the fullback. Hanover right up the middle, and Bryan all the way down to the Raider 38-yard line.
Nice play on the inside trap, and downfield had been able to break that one tackle. Fitzgerald had his man knocked down and could have been all the way.
Hanover, a guy who's a very aggressive runner, according to Coach Jack Johnson. Good size, a great blocker. He goes 6 feet, 180 pounds, but a junior. Versus Delaware, he rushed for 128 yards. 2nd down, and let's call it less than 1 with 6:28 left to go first quarter. The backs are split again. This is Hanover off the left side. Bryan all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Interesting call on 2nd and short. They went to the dive, and it looked like Reynoldsburg's defense was overloaded to the other side. And big gain.
Stop was made by the safety on that play, number 80, John Anderson.
Okay, notice the backs are to the top of the screen, and he just hands off. Simple play. Great result.
1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Raider 30-yard line, down to 6:12 left first quarter. Hanover 17 yards on 2 carries. Hornberger going back to throw. The pass is knocked away.
Whoa.
Intended for Fitzgerald.
What a great defensive play that time. Steve Denny just sold out, gave everything, and tipped that ball away at the last minute, Randy.
Denny 5'5", 150, and a junior, but with quick paws out there to knock that one down.
I think they're probably realized that Fitzgerald's a very important receiver on this team. He comes out from the bottom of the screen, over the middle. The pass looks like it's right there, but great defense, Denny.
Fitzgerald has 15 catches on the season for 263 yards. That's an average of over 17 yards every time he catches the ball. Cordell in motion. Again, motion on the defensive line. It looks like perhaps Roberts jumped for the Raiders.
I think you're right, Randy. They've got to watch the football. I know they're aggressive, and they realize it's probably their last game of the season, and some of them in their high school career, and they're a little bit excited. Of course, Pickerington shows motion, which is perfectly legal, but the snap cadence or the movement caused Reynoldsburg to jump offside.
So on the encroachment, mark it down to the 25-yard line. Let's call it 2nd down and 5 now with 6:05 left to go first quarter. No score. Glad to have you aboard for week number 10. High school football 1990. 2 penalties now on the Raiders for 10 yards. Hanover and Klinger in the backfield. That is Cordell on the wing. In motion. A 2 tight end set. A handoff goes right up the gut to Klinger. And Klinger gets it down to the right hash at around the 22-yard line.
Isolation play, and because of the penalty, 2nd and short, this is going to make it 3rd and only about 2 or 3, Randy.
Klinger, a guy who's 29th in the area in scoring, but as you can see by the scoreboard, we have no points in this game so far, but Ron has 11 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion for 68 points on the season. What a great facility this is here at Reynoldsburg High School. Is this beautiful or what?
This is tremendous. The way they've got this field in tip-top condition. I see there's going to be a late penalty on this play, a big, costly one for Pickerington.
It's a clip called on the Tigers. Mark it back to the 36-yard line. Your referee tonight is Chuck Minter. Your umpire is Steve Furness. The linesman is Dan Redmond. The line judge is Tim Bailey, and the back judge is Darrell Rohr.
Must have been a phantom flag, Randy. I don't remember seeing one, do you?
I didn't see one. An air horn right in front of us. Either that or our ship is in. Second down now, and let's call it just about 16 with 5:49 left to go. The ball is back at the 36-yard line. Hornberger looking long. Left sideline. The man is there. Oh, the pass is incomplete inside the 10-yard line for Cordell.
Wow, what oh, man, Randy, did you see the guy wide open down the sideline? Just inches short. I'll tell you, what's happening, you see he's a little shaken up on the play, is that Reynoldsburg is playing two short men and one to cover the whole deep half. They crisscross, the receivers do. The quarterback lays it up there. Oh, just about a big play.
Maybe that was a big league toss there.
Yeah, the sophomore's got a lot of poise. If you can give him time to throw it, looks like he's got the tools to be successful.
Still looking for his first completion in this contest. Currently 0 for 3, third down now, and let's call it 16. He's straight back to throw this time. Hornberger with pressure on, trying to get away from Hartman. He throws it up for grabs. The pass is intercepted. Picked off by number 10. It is Ty Downer. Downer to 35, 40, and Ty knocked out of bounds along the far sideline.
He sure was, and to be perfectly honest, Randy, that was a really pretty good protection. They blitzed. Reynoldsburg blitzed on that play, and he's had more time than he's had all night. He held on to it just a little bit too long, and on the scramble forced the throw.
I think Ty Downer had 2 interceptions in their win over Delaware.
You'll see on the replay, both inside linebackers are coming also, which means everybody's got to pick up their men. Right there, he releases the ball a little wobbly, and great defense, and now he's going to take off to the sideline, maybe get it around the corner, but a nice defensive job by Klinger.
18 yards on the return, 1st and 10 from the Raider 40. Play action, Stewart back to throw. He's looking, the man is wide open. The pass is complete to number 20, Jeff Cummings, and he goes down right around the 44 in Tiger territory.
Talk about being able to throw the football, Randy. How about that one for right on the money?
I tell you, these Raiders scare me when you look at how young they are. Both teams are really young, but Reynoldsburg, I think, probably has 4 seniors in their top 22.
Yeah, and you'll see on the replay a play action fake. Nice toss to the flat, wide open. Great execution of the out pattern, which is probably the toughest pass to complete in football.
Another big league arm right here from the 6'1", 165-pound junior. 1st and 10 from the Tiger 44, down to 5:17 left to go first quarter. The backs from an eye. That's a broken play, and Stewart will take it around the right side, and he'll be brought down back around the 46-yard line.
Right, they tried to go counter gap play, and really they missed the handoff, but alertly Stewart tucked it up and got almost back to the line of scrimmage.
Now see, I don't think it's fair they keep stats on a quarterback. Stewart has rushed 34 times for negative 56 yards. It's in those situations. It's not his fault. Quarterbacks, they keep stats for, and unless there's somebody like, the Bobby Douglases of the 1960s or 70s, you're not going to see a quarterback rush for that many yards.
You're right, Randy, and sacks, too. We hardly ever counted sacks against the quarterback, even though supposedly you should.
2nd, and let's call it 11. Stewart across the middle. The pass is complete. That goes to number 84, the tight end, Matt Lois. But a short gain on the play.
You were watching some of Ohio State's offense. That was a tight end dragging across, a very favorite pattern lately in college football. Good defensive coverage, though. He only picked up about 3, forces a 3rd and long.
Let's be honest. If this was Ohio State, you wouldn't see a team with an 8-1 record, though.
Well, you said it. Okay, on the drag pattern, it's a nice concentration, but a good hit on that play by number 57, Yannicek.
Stewart is now 2 out of 3 passing for 18 yards. On the counter, inside, that goes to Seitz, and he is nailed right around the 43.
Sure was. There was nothing doing on the reverse. The big number 72, Balco, was in there and treated him rather harshly.
Terry goes 5'11", 223. He's a senior. He's a guy that likes listening to Harry Connick Jr., of course, with the music for When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Seitz to punt from just about midfield. Pressure's on. He gets it away. A nice kick inside the 5-yard line. It hits across the goal line. It's a touchback. The Tigers will get it from their own 20-yard line.
Great kick, man. That's 42 yards. And that's a Division I leg we just saw.
So 1st and 10 now for Pickerington from their own 20-yard line. We've done this game the last couple of years, Tom McDonald. And last year was an exciting game, 17-13. The Raiders won that contest. And I tell you what, it's always exciting to come out to the east side, especially for you, I know, because it's the short drive from home.
It sure is. Yeah, I live real close, and it makes it a lot nicer.
Pickerington is 17-4 since 1987 when they hold their opponents under 14 points. See what happens in this game tonight. A stat to remember, 1st and 10 from the 20. Handoff goes to Hanover, the first man through, and he'll gain maybe 3 on the play.
Not much doing there. Pickerington tried just the ISO slant, and it was well defensed by Reynoldsburg Raiders. You know, Randy, last year the game did come down to the kicking game, really. It was what determined the outcome, and who knows, tonight may be the same way.
Sean Coles and David Guzman. David goes 5'8" and 155. He's a senior, but what a hitter at inside linebacker. 2nd and 7 from the 23. 3:03 left to go first quarter. The backs are now split behind Hornberger. Inside to the fullback. Looks like it's again Hanover. He's brought down right around the line of scrimmage.
Jeff Hubbard read out that trap play perfectly and stopped it right in its tracks. No gain.
Actually, that's Steve Hubbard. They flip-flop jerseys right before the game. Those
Others
twins
will do that. You'll see right there the trap was designed to go right up the middle, but Hubbard was in there on the stop. Randy, Reynoldsburg's changed their defense after Pickerington almost completed that long pass. Now they've got 3 deep players instead of 2 deep.
3rd and 7 from the 23-yard line. Cheney wide to the bottom. That is Cordell in motion to the top. Pitch goes to Klinger. Klinger tries to turn it outside, but he is brought down. The guy who didn't make the stop, but who put a lot of pressure on was number 32, Mr. Roberts.
How true, and really that was great pursuit by Reynoldsburg's defense, and it was a big 3rd down play, and we're going to get another punt.
And Ty Downard makes the stop for the Raiders.
Well, let's watch it on the replay. It's a toss sweep. But this time they tried to get a little extra blocking by sending a man in motion. And
we're ready for the punt now on 4th down, as Ernie Eichhorn is standing back inside the 10-yard line. Ernie with a liner. Picked up by Downard at the 44. Ty gets up to midfield and down to around the 47. He's tackled along the far sidelines.
He's been over there twice now, Randy, in a matter of 5 minutes.
35 yards on that kick. With 1:37 left to go first quarter. 1st and 10 for the Raiders from the Tiger 47-yard line. We'll take a look now at the replay of that 3rd down run.
There's the man in motion, and nice kick out block by the fullback, but the pursuit was very good, led by, of course, the man who just returned that punt, Doward.
You could see, too, that Mike Roberts was there, too, to cut off the angle to the outside for Klinger. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. And it's a hanky parade.
Right, what are they going to call this time? Didn't see any movement. Delay a game, maybe?
No. Well, we have the false start signal, or they could have not had 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
I'm wondering if the quarterback in his cadence was bobbing his head even. Let's see if we can pick it out on the replay.
Yep, movement,
yeah,
left side of the line.
Left tackle. Just a little head bob, but that's all it takes.
And how about those replays?
Hey, boy, they're great tonight.
1st down and 15. Anything is great tonight, especially if it keeps us warm.
Yes, we do have a nice, clear view.
The SOS is out for hot chocolate tonight. 1st and 10, make that 1st and 15 from the 48 in Raider territory. This is Carl Scott, and Carl will pick up the 5 yards they lost on the penalty.
He sure did, Randy. Nice blocking. They got 5 yards before Fitzgerald and company was able to slow him up.
Remember, Carl only needed 13 yards to hit 1,000 on the season, so unofficially he's around, what, about 993 yards right now.
I'd say he's within one decent run of pushing it over the 1,000 mark.
As you see the defensive signals along the far sidelines for the Tigers. Stewart looking, plenty of time, great blocking. That is for Carl Scott, and he drops it at the 42-yard line.
Sure did. And I'll tell you, the man who stopped that play primarily was Tony Wayhoff. He was the outside linebacker who dropped deep enough to cover the deep out route and then closed on the short drag man.
Tony's been in on more than 60 tackles already this season for the Tigers.
Great, we'll get to see on the replay. Nice play action fake. They're trying to hit that play that was open. Notice he had to pump because Wayhoff was in the way, and then he came right up on it.
And the pass was thrown behind Carl Scott as well.
Right, with that hesitation forced that pass to be thrown poorly.
3rd and 10 now, the ball at the 47. Stewart, pressure on, and he goes down back at the 46-yard line. The man making the play looks like it's Tony Janacek.
He's pretty excited, whoever it was. If it wasn't Janacek, it was Wayhoff. But
I think it was Tony. Tony missed time early in the season with a crack in the growth plate of his wrist, but he's been in on 55 tackles since he's been back for the Tigers.
Boy, he was certainly in on that one. Look at him, wrapping him up very well. Another punt.
Here we go again. This is Seitz.
Uh-oh.
High snap, gets it off from his own 38. Another nice kick, not as far as the other one. Bounces inside the 20. It's a 90-degree turn and will roll dead around the 16-yard line.
We have a little bit of an injury problem here for Reynoldsburg on about the 35-yard line. Hope he's okay.
Could be David Glass, the outside linebacker.
I think that's who it is, the senior. Doesn't want to end his last game this early.
38 yards on that kick after the bounce for Mr. Seitz. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 16-yard line. Well, Reynoldsburg has won 5 in a row, 9 of their last 10, and they've won 7 of their last 9 home games. You can see David coming off the field right now, a little tender.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in pain, but judging by the people helping carry him off, at least in one instance, I'm sure it's as good as can be expected.
Put a little weight on both legs, though, so it doesn't look as bad as we thought initially. David, 6 foot 144, and a senior. I'm remembering, did he score the game-winning touchdown last year on that ball that was found in the end zone? I'm trying to remember. Klinger on the handoff takes it right up the middle. He looked outside, cut it inside. He'll gain maybe 2 on the play.
They're going back to a little more conservative ball control offense down here by their own goal line. And although neither team scored, Randy, it seems like in quarter one's history, it seems like Reynoldsburg's keeps gaining in field position.
It's a chess match after 1 quarter. After 12 minutes, Reynoldsburg nothing, Pickerington nothing. Back with the 2nd quarter right after this. You're looking at the Raider cheerleaders along the sidelines. Their team in a scoreless tie with Pickerington as we go into the 2nd quarter. Randy Reinhardt and Tom McDonald. Glad to have you aboard for week number 10, the final week of the regular season of High School Football 90 here on cable TV. Tom, where did it go?
I'll tell you, it really went fast this year, probably the fastest in my opinion ever. But we saw some great football, and tonight's no exception. We've got a great action-packed quarter, even though there's been no scoring.
Second and 7, Tom, with the ball at the 19-yard line. That's Klinger. Klinger trying to work his way up to the 20, and he is nailed by no less than 4 Raiders back around the 17-yard line.
I see Pickerington's put in the counter tray play that the Redskins patented so well lately, and where they pulled 2 backside linemen, but Reynoldsburg was expecting it, and right there to stop it for a very short game.
Stats through a quarter, Pickerington with 1 first down, Reynoldsburg with none.
See on the replay, both the right guard and right tackle pulled on the play, but the ball carrier never was able to follow him.
Pickerington had 12 yards on the ground. Reynoldsburg had 18 in the air. Total stats. 14 plays for the Tigers, 13 for the Raiders. 3rd down and 7. Hornberger looking. The pass for Fitzgerald complete. Still on his feet. Up to the 25. Twirls to the 26, but I think his knee touched about 1 yard short of the first down marker.
Boy, it did, and that 1 yard means the difference between continuing a drive and punting. Okay, you'll see on the replay, I don't know if Pickerington realizes that the flat's open now because of the different coverage. They see the tight end dragging across the middle. Look at him almost run through the double tackle.
So it's a 4th down and less than 1 with 10:50 left to go in the first half. And that means it's time again for Ernie Eichhorn to punt.
Possibly, Randy. Remember earlier in the year we did see a fake. They also might try to shift down, draw him offside. We'll see.
Nope. Nice kick. Oh, baby, look at this one. Back to the 35-yard line. Downard catches it at the 33. Giving ground back to the 26.
Oh, my.
And the front door is closed right around the 29.
The front door, the back door, and then the front door again. Randy decided to not going to make it to the right. I'll try to the left, and then he was contained very well. And look out. Nice kick coverage.
So it's 1st and 10 now for the Raiders from their own 29-yard line. Tom is abusing me here in my headset.
Sorry,
I just took a blow, but remember, you hit me, but I did not go down in the 3rd round.
Yeah, well.
I'm still on my feet.
Everybody got some sleep last night because of that.
Oof. We'll talk about that later. 1st and 10, Raiders. That is Scott. Carl, really shifty. He gets all the way up to the 34-yard line.
Boy, is he quick, Randy. He like slalomed through those defenders for a great pickup, even though there was not much hole. Replay, you'll see he gets the ball deep, cuts to his right, back to his left, and then
dives to his right again, just like a skier.
Second down and 5 now with 9:45 left to go. Again, this is Scott. He gets it up to the 36-yard line.
It's going to create a 3rd and short, and I imagine Scott may see the ball for his 3rd time in a row.
And according to our stats, he stands exactly now at 1,000 yards on the season.
Oh, right. Should we stop the game and give him the game ball?
I would, but it's not my ball.
I'm sure he'd probably share it with some of those young linemen that he's had working so hard for him. And, of course, his other supporting backs and quarterbacks have done a nice job also.
And how about his head coach, that guy right there in his 3rd year at Reynoldsburg with 36 years coaching overall, Bob Stewart. 3rd down and a long 3. Stewart, this time it's Jeff Stewart, and he is hogtied back at the 30-yard line. Yee-high.
That was a great play by the defensive end. In this situation, he is expected, Vipperman, to contain the quarterback, not to make the tackle as well. He did both, and that was a great play. You'll see on the replay, they're going to try to boot, fake the action, try to break contain, but you'll see Vipperman throw the blocker aside and then throw the quarterback down.
And that guy didn't play football last year. How about that? What a kick by Seitz, and they hit Seitz, so the flag is down. Back the other way now. This is Cheney giving ground at the 30, back to the 29, but it's a moot point. The flag rests back at the 23-yard line.
And there's the kicking game going to come into play again after Pickerington's done such a great job at stopping the Raider offense. They're going to get another chance.
That was a 40-yard punt, but Mr. Seitz says, hey, you can come back our way if you'll give us the ball again.
Well, it's a chance you have to take, and I understand Coach Johnson's reasoning on that. A big block punt. The offense hasn't been doing much. We get a block punt there in 4-down territory, could probably take it in and get at least 3 points, maybe 7. On the other hand, the gamble you take is if one of the young men does happen to run into the kicker, and that's what happened in this particular case.
And the ball is marched out all the way to just across the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 Raiders from there with 8:26 left to go in the first half. And Mr. Minter comes our way and says, hey, they ran into the kicker, those guys. So we're going this way on a 1st down.
You know, a lot of times, Randy, when you work on that, you have to do it almost live because you got, as a defender, you got to go to a point about 4 yards in front of where the kicker starts. Because he's going to take a couple steps forward and then extend his leg. And a lot of times, if you aim for the wrong spot, that's what happens.
Is that the penalty where, as a head coach, you have a hard time yelling at the player?
Well, yes, because it was an aggressive mistake, and you can't fault aggressive mistakes.
1st and 10 from the 45. Hand off to the fullback. First man through is number 43, Chad Hartman. Hartman will gain maybe 3 or 4 on the play up to the 49 mark officially. Let's call it 2nd down and 6.
Right, and they were tough yards before he was engulfed by Fitzgerald in the middle linebacking spot.
Well, Fitzgerald, I think, is a safe bet to play Division I football next year. Not only is he a great tight end, but he's a great linebacker as well.
You're right, Randy. We've seen a lot of great players this year, but in my opinion, Fitzgerald's as good as any I've seen.
Big number 99. 2nd down, let's call it a long 6. This is Mr. Scott. He is hog-tied back at the 49. I think we might have had a face mask. I'm not certain. We'll wait.
Well, it was a great effort on defense, but it looked like they ended in the wrong thing. I think he did grab the face mask accidentally. It's going to cost him nonetheless.
Yep, there's the call. Against the Tigers with 7:34 left to go in the first half.
Once again, I believe Harp sold out and dove over his blocker to make the tackle, but he must have grabbed the face mask in the meantime. You'll see the counteraction. Yeah, Harp jumped through his blocker, played great defense, but he can't grab the face mask, and it certainly was unintentional.
Bob Stewart, I don't think he's ordering dinner either.
Hey.
And Rocky Raider.
There's Rocky.
The Rock Man here tonight. You know, that guy's always got a big head.
Hey, that guy's warm tonight.
He's the only one.
There you go.
1st and 10 from the Tiger 36-yard line. This is Seitz, the 2nd man through. You know, Kevin's the guy that'll see time with Scott at the tailback position because he saw some time there last year. And, you know, in just part-time duty this season, splitting time with Scott, Kevin on 108 carries has 518 yards on the season. That's 4.7 yards every time he touches the ball.
Right, and you can see why, Randy. He's not afraid to duck up right up in there. He's not necessarily a fancy runner, but he's a hard-nosed runner that will get the yardage right up the gut.
And Mr. Goal Line as well. Let's call it 2nd and 6 officially with the ball resting just inside the 32. This time it is Scott. the volleyball move at tailback, and he gets bent backwards literally inside the 28-yard line.
I wonder by who.
Wonder. Mr. Fitzgerald, perhaps.
You got it. It's 3rd and short now, and Reynoldsburg's in excellent position to get this first down. And see on the replay, the isolation play, and he goes pretty good until he hits Fitzgerald, and look out.
Takedown. Mark the ball closer to the 27. Let's call it 3rd down. And a short 2 with 6:18 left to go. They hand it off to Hartman, the fullback, and on second effort, he breaks away from the right side, goes to the left side, but still does not get the first down.
I don't know if he did. Randy Balco was in there. The 223-pound senior for Pickerington did a nice job of hitting him in the backfield, and you're right, held him short and presents an interesting call, but I have a feeling that this time in the season, there's really not much debate.
That's right. Take a look one more time.
There's the fullback right up the middle, and look at Balco. Oh, he's popped.
A visit from the high school football thrill cam on a 4th and less than 1 with 5:38 left to go, first half. Reynoldsburg loves to show that 2 tight end set as well, Tom McDonald. The handoff goes to Scott, and he's got the first down easily all the way down to the 23-yard line.
Excellent line surge by the offense of Reynoldsburg. Great team effort on that. They pulled everybody, just fired straight ahead. Parsons and company did a nice job.
Well, you look at the front 5, Hubbard, Rodenmeyer, Finesse, Parsons, and Siegel, and only 2 of those guys are seniors, Finesse and Siegel.
Right, and you'll see, and of course, the fullback led right through there also, so it was a team effort.
First and 10 from the 23, down to 5:20 left to go. Each team still with their full allotment of 3 timeouts. Scott now with 7 carries, 19 yards. Stewart has a man wide open. Lois, the tight end, touchdown! Lois with the catch with 5:11 left to go. And the Raiders lead by a score of 6-0.
Great call on the play-action pass, Randy. They have been moving the ball on the ground via penalties also. I think Pickerington kind of went to sleep on that play, and the great fake made it tough to read. But a nice flag route, excellent pass, nice catch, touchdown, Raiders.
Lois with his 6th catch of the season, 3 of those for touchdowns. Varsity adding the PAT, the snap, the kick is up, and it is good. So with 5:11 left to go in the half, the Raiders lead 7-0, and a little slow getting to his feet right now is Tony Varsity.
Right, they don't want that. He's a very important part of this football team, and I don't know if it was his own player or what that hit him, but he's not full speed. Nevertheless, he did make the extra point, 7-0, 5 minutes to go in the half.
That's a nice ratio for Mr. Lois now. 6 catches on the season, 3 of them for touchdowns.
You'll see nice play action pass, and really he just lofts the ball right like he should. Didn't have to be fancy. Good concentration. Lois, touchdown.
Touchdown pass number 6 on the season for Jeff Stewart. You know, he's only been intercepted 2 times this year.
He's a very smart kid. On that play, he didn't want to try to do anything sweet or fancy. He just got the job done.
That drive was 11 plays, 71 yards, took 5:16 off the clock.
2 interceptions all year?
Yep.
Jeez.
23-yard touchdown pass.
I can see why they throw the ball a few times.
From Stewart to Lois. Varsity added the PAT, and we stand at 7-0. So, Tom, if you're Pickerington now offensively, are you going to change anything on this possession?
Well, I'll tell you, they tried to go the pass early, and it didn't work real well. I think they're a little more successful on the run. But mixing it up, I think they still have confidence. And really, when you think about it, if it wasn't for a couple penalties, Reynoldsburg may not have had that touchdown.
Varsity limps, but kicks. Klinger hunts it down at the 2. They're on to the 10, to the 15, to the 19-yard line. Not like the kickoff he got at the beginning of the game. This time he stopped before he hits the 20.
Not like the kickoff return he got, right, but it was a heck of a kickoff. It went all the way down to the 2. If he's going to limp and kick it to the 2, I'd have him limp all the time.
And mark it 1st and 10 at the 19 as you look at Jack Johnson looking for career win number 100 tonight. As we said, 99, 77, and 3. What a gentleman. I can't say anything more about Jack Johnson than that. Always does a great job. Always very, very helpful when we come out to get information on Pickerington High School. 1st and 10 from the 19. The backs from an eye. This is Klinger off the right side. Run all the way up to the 26-yard line.
Good yardage on the counter, and that misdirection is working effectively at times against the Raider defense, who move their tackles to inside techniques.
Stop made on the play. It looks like by number 24, Randy Verdi.
Great. Look at from ground level. You'll see the crossing action of the backs. Nice hitter. Good blocking. Big game.
a gain officially of 7 on the play. Second down and a short 3 with 4:18 left to go first half. Cordell wide at the bottom. Handoff goes to Hanover, the fullback, and he is stacked up right at the 26.
No way is he going to get up the middle against the Raider defense. Looked like they were really expecting a short yardage type play, and they got it.
Call it 3rd down and 2. Klinger, by the way, in this half has 6 carries for 17 yards.
Getting closer, isn't he, Randy? But he's going to have to break a big one if he wants to get 1,000.
43 more. We're down to 3:44 left to go in the first half. Hornberger, the sophomore quarterback, on a 3rd and 2. To Klinger. Off the right side, still fighting, still fighting. Almost looked like a tortoise carrying somebody on his back all the way up near the 30-yard line.
It sure did. That's great effort. He must have known it was 3rd down, and he didn't have it when he got hit first, but he kept the legs driving and got the first down.
He probably would have run about a 4.5 40 if he was going full blast, but he had a guy on his back.
He did at least one.
So 1st and 10 now for the Tigers from the 30-yard line, as we're down to under 3.5 minutes left to go first half.
See if they try to utilize Fitzgerald on offense by either throwing it to him or running his side. He's down at the bottom of the screen there. Well, at the tight end spot.
And Cordell is way wide to the bottom. Hornberger straight back, pump fakes, pressure's on. He gets away, 30, 35, up to the 39-yard line. Now this kid is a sophomore, Tom. Already he's 6'1" and 190 pounds. Basically a pocket passer, but you can see he can move as well.
Yes, he did a nice job of reading the coverage and then tucking it away on this play. You'll see he's designed to throw a pass, and they're keeping the tight end for protection. Look back the other way, nothing going, and tuck it away and get 8 or 9.
Let's call it 9 at the 39. 2nd down and 1. Again, Cordell wide to the bottom. The backs from an eye. Down to near 2.5 left to go in the first half. This is Klinger. Klinger's got the first down. He's up to around the 43-yard line.
There's only one man in on that tackle, too, and that was that linebacker, number 64, Steve Harpster.
Harpster, the son of one of the assistant coaches for the Raiders. Of course, we're talking about Charlie Harpster. So we put you on the sidelines right now. Raiders strategy being planned for their offense when they get back on the field. 1st and 10, mark the ball at the 43-yard line. Hornberger, pass is incomplete. He overthrows Cheney down at the Raider 47-yard line.
He did. Being a sophomore, he may have rushed that one a little bit because he's not used to having adequate protection. That time he did, and I think if he'd have held off just a tad, they might have been able to thread that one through.
What a job Mike Hornberger has done, though, against Mount Vernon in week number 6 of the season. In his first start, I think, he went 10 out of 12 passing for 116 yards and 1 touchdown.
Right, and I know talking to Coach Johnson, he's very pleased with the way things have developed in his quarterbacking situation. Very high on the shunt man.
2nd and 10 from the 43, down to 2:19 left to go in the half, and now flags fly.
They've had some good quarterbacks, too, with Floyd in the past couple years. And looks like the Raiders are going to be guilty this time.
Encroachment, perhaps?
I think so.
Yep, I think we had someone maybe lined in the neutral zone. So give 5 more yards to the Tigers up to the 48-yard line.
Yes, you'll see down at the
There
bottom
it
of
is.
the screen. Looks like they're already lined up in no-no land.
The right defensive end is already across the line of scrimmage, in fact. So we'll mark it up to the 48. We'll call it 2nd down and 5 from there with 2:19 left in the first half. And Reynoldsburg leading by a score of 7-0. Cheney and Cordell wide to the bottom. The backs from an eye. The pitch goes to Klinger. 50,
Nice block.
down to the 46-yard line. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind with Ron Klinger as the tailback, remember, he used to be the backup quarterback.
That's true. He can throw the ball as well as run it, Randy. I thought Cheney did a nice job of seeming, or kind of like, he really didn't block his man, but he kind of screened him off. And that's all it took to turn the corner. You'll see on the replay, he's coming out from the top of the screen. He's right there screening his man off.
Ooh.
He got pounded, but he did keep number 10 out of there and allowed for a big gainer.
Clock running now down to 2:03 left to go first half. 1st and 10 from the Raider 46-yard line.
He used his head, didn't he?
Yep. Literally. Hornberger, plenty of time. The pass is going to be intercepted, picked off by the Raiders by number 34, Dave Guzman. Guzman to the 48-yard line before he goes down to one knee.
Nice move, Goose. Tell you what, he was right in the right place on that curl route over the middle, stepped in front of it, and took off.
That's what Bob Stewart says about David Guzman. You know, he's 5'8", 155. That's not the size normally for an inside linebacker, but he just does a great job. He plays much bigger than that size.
He certainly does, Randy. On this ground level replay, you'll see the quarterback drops back. He has plenty of time, looks over the middle, didn't even see Guzman. Nice job, cuts to the outside, and then I don't know what happened here. He's going to make one more cut.
Returns it from the 34 to the 48, 14 yards. First and 10 from the 48-yard line. Stewart, play action, collides with Scott in the backfield. Gets a token block almost out of that, and the pass is incomplete. You know, that worked pretty well because when they collided, Scott was able to turn around and give him a bit of a block when the pressure was on.
That's right. That's not how they practice it, I'm sure, and they try to get the fullback deep, number 43, which happens to be, of course, Chad Hartman.
This is an ad-lib block here. Watch this. Boom! Oh, gee.
That would have been a great try because the fullback came all the way from his fullback spot in the backfield, all the way down the middle of the field, almost ended up at the goal line.
That was Ellifritz who ran into Scott, second down and 10. Stewart, he's hit. He loses the ball. It's rolling free, and I think the Raiders have it back at the 45-yard line with 1:20 left to go.
Boy, I'll say he's hit. Two Pickerington Tigers sandwiched him on that one, and a very alert offensive lineman. It may have been, who'd you think that was? Maybe Randy recovered.
Take a look at the replay here.
Okay. Drop back protection. I thought that was a number 50 that recovered it, but we don't have any number 50s in the program as I see it.
Right. And they don't have it here either, so we won't worry about it right now.
That poor kid. Right.
Howard Hughes on the recovery. Third down now, and let's call it just about 13 with 47 seconds left to go in the first half. That is sights in motion. Stewart. Pressure on. He gets away from one, but not from the second guy. The guy who finally makes a stop for the Tigers with the pressure, number 72, Terry Balco.
Now, Pickerington should call timeout here, which they have alertly, to force him into a punting situation. And, you know, if they can block one here, they get good field position. Let's look at the replay. The motion only leaves one back in to block, and that's who normally picks up this outside linebacker, blitzing from the top of the screen. He was able to avoid that player, but not the second and third men.
So the Tigers take a timeout with 29 seconds unofficially. Is that their first timeout? They have 2 left?
I believe so, Randy.
And Reynoldsburg with their full complement of 3 timeouts. This first half is moving along.
It really is, and they haven't used their timeouts. But this has been great defense so far. This kicking game, of course, has come into some play because of excellent punting on both teams. But there's going to have to get one more off this half.
We've been informed now that number 50 is Rob Rodenmeyer for the Raiders. He switched numbers from 53 to 50. So remember, he was the interesting story in the Whitehall game because his father, I think, is the principal at Etna Road Elementary School in Whitehall.
I tell you, it almost cost him switching that jersey. He's got to
let us know, right?
That's right.
Always check in with us before the game. Not be smoking or non-smoking. So it's 4th down and a bunch with the ball back at the 38-yard line.
And on a sad note, David Glass looks like he's through for the evening. The senior is hobbling off with the help of a cart, and we sure hope he's healthy. He's a tough kid.
4th and 20. Sights with the punt. It will hit at the 35. Now you have to pick that up if you're the Tigers because that's going to let time run off the clock. And it bounces at the 25, and the Raiders are just going to let it sit there for a long time. That cost the Tigers 5 extra seconds.
Very smart, but of course, Randy, I think the key was either block the kick or don't risk fielding it. In other words, the chances of you going all that way in only 20 seconds is very slim. So if I would have been the coach, I might have said don't even field it for the simple point that too many bad things can go wrong.
Good point. I sit corrected. 37 yards on that punt. Fitzgerald wide to the bottom now, down to 12, 11, 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Hornberger straight back. Pressure's on, gets away. Stumbles up to the 24-yard line, and that will be the last play of the first half. No flags down. Interesting and quick moving as well. We have played 2 quarters. The score, Reynoldsburg 7, Pickerington nothing. Back with our halftime show right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're at halftime. Here now is the Pickerington High School Marching Band. was On Broadway, featuring the flags and rifles and the dancers. The Pickerington High School Marching Band under Mike Sewell in his 9th year. The assistant band director, Lisa Lang. The flag instructor is Kim Hickey. The attached unit supervisor, Cherie Stallman. The field commanders, Ty Williams, Julie Little, and Carrie Cameron. The featured twirler is Krisha Auk. 152 musicians. The final number will be I Dreamed a Dream. Plenty of pause applauding now for the Pickerington High School Marching Tiger Band. What a great job by Mike Sewell and the gang in his 9th year. That was I Dreamed a Dream. First number was On Broadway. Events coming up for the band. Listen to this. They'll perform in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. They'll perform at the Rams-Cleveland Browns game on December the 2nd. Let's hope the Browns show up to perform as well. And they'll perform at the Giants-Eagles game in Philly on November the 25th. Now they've got state competition coming up, the state contest coming up on the 27th of October at Cooper Stadium at 10:30 p.m. And the band will have a car wash at R&R Car Wash on Route 256. Drop by and get your car cleaned, and the money goes to support the Pickerington High School Marching Band. Again, band director Mike Sewell and the gang doing a great job in Pickerington here at halftime. Coming out now, the Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band. They're Bob Hoplinger in his 2nd year. The assistant band director is Tammy Hansen. The field commander is Nicole Foster. The guard advisor is Tracy Suma. The guard captain is Tracy Stanley. The percussion instructor is Jeff McGuire. The choreographer is Susan Combs. Now, this is Parents' Night, and of course, this is a senior show. Last show of the season for the seniors, and they put together the show. They have 25 seniors in this band, and they're the ones not wearing any hats tonight. So as you're looking at the Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band, you can tell which ones are the seniors. The first number tonight that they will perform is called Payload. So here now, the Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band. Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band. We'll hear one more number now from the band. The next number will be The Final Countdown, performed by the Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band under Bob Hoflinger in his second year. Here now, The Final Countdown. Final Countdown by the Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band. Some of the senior parents will be coming out onto the field right now. As they do, we'll tell you the band went to their first marching band contest the first weekend in October and earned a superior rating. They'll march in the state finals on November the 3rd at Cooper Stadium. They'll march in a contest in Cincinnati on Saturday. And they've got a fundraiser coming up. They'll be selling Christmas wreaths. You can call the school during the weekdays for more information. What a great job by both high school marching bands at halftime. And speaking at halftime, well, we'll tell you right now that the score is Reynoldsburg 7, Pickerington nothing. We'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. That's the city of Columbus. Tom and I work here. We carry microphones. As we're just about ready for the start of the second half of this contest between Reynoldsburg and Pickerington, the Raiders leading by 7. And while time permits right now, Tom McDonald, let's take a look at the first half unofficial stats for this contest. First down advantage goes to Pickerington by 2. Yards rushing, a bit of a surprise, really. Total yards pretty close. And the Raiders ran 4 more plays.
You're right, Randy. And I'll tell you, even though the penalties are about the same, and Pickerington's yardage is the key. I think they had 2 penalties on that drive that kept the Reynoldsburg drive going, and I think that's about the difference in the ball game so far.
Remember that roughing the kicker penalty as well.
Right, and the face mask.
Right. The only score in this contest came with 5:11 left to go in the first half. The 23-yard touchdown pass from Stewart to Lois, and Masseri added the PAT, and we stand at 7-0. Remember, Reynoldsburg deferred their option until the second half, so now Pickerington will kick off in the third quarter. And as we start the second half, time right now to say a big thank you to Tom Crawford and Dr. Ray Tesner over at Sports Medicine Grant for sponsoring the player of the game for the 5th consecutive season on Coaxial and All-American. Those guys are outstanding. If you ever have a sports-related injury, check those people out. And I'll tell you what, if you're just a recreational athlete, Sports Medicine Grant can handle you as well. They do a great job with their 5th quarter. Call Sports Medicine Grant during regular hours, and they'll take care of you. Great job down there by Tom Crawford and Dr. Ray Tesner.
Well, Randy, this is one of the most unusual kickoff return formations that I've ever seen from Reynoldsburg. Whether they think Pickerington's going to come out real quick and try an onside kick or what, I've never seen. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're looking at the Tigers. If we could see the Raiders on your screen right now, look at this. That's where they are. They're all huddled together. There's 2 guys deep, and now they deploy as they see how the Tigers come out. It's almost like a semi-huddle.
Yeah, that was bizarre. Now they're spaced a little more evenly.
Ernie Eichhorn to boot it. The ball teed up at the 40, and his team trailing 7-0. The last half for the last week. Here we go. Coming back the other way. This is McLean all the way out to the 25-yard line.
Notice they kicked it away from Carl Scott.
So we'll reset the Raiders on offense to start the second half. Up front, it's Canes, Hubbard, Rodenmeyer, who is wearing number 50, we found out. Fenice, Parsons, Siegel, and Lois, who caught the touchdown pass. In the backfield, Stewart, the quarterback, Hartman, Scott, and Cummings in the backfield. And Seitz also will see some time at tailback. 1st and 10. Mark the ball at the 25-yard line. That's Scott. Carl gets up to around the 28, and that is about it.
That's a toss sweep that they opened the second half with, and a nice tackle by Janacek.
As we check out the Tigers on defense with their 40 look, Ellifritz, Balco, Signs, and Vipperman up front. The linebackers are Wayhoff, Fitzgerald, Janacek, and Allagher. In the secondary, it's Clark, Cheney, and Klinger. The C&K sounds. Let's call it 2nd and 7 with the ball at the 28. 11:09 left to go in the third quarter. 2 wideouts now to the bottom for the Raiders. The handoff goes to Seitz, and Kevin gets it up to around the 28, and that's about it.
Nothing doing there, Randy. Going to force a 3rd and long situation. I know both coaches have emphasized the importance of this first possession of the second half.
I tell you, perhaps the best news of all in the evening, the hot chocolate is here.
Oh, isn't it Hoxter great? He brought that hot chocolate via special delivery, and we're very appreciative, Hoxter.
Same-day service, Daniel. Thank you very much. Statistician extraordinaire and chef as well. 3rd and 7, mark it officially at the 28. 10.5 left to go, third quarter. Scott is back in at tailback. That is Cummings in motion. Stewart, play action, looks across the middle. The pass is complete. Up across the 40-yard line. That is Dan Caines, a guy they're going to look for more often. Probably the fastest guy on the team. And Dan, 5'10", 155, is just a sophomore.
That's probably why they were playing a little loose on him. He ran a curl route. The man in motion went in the flat. The quarterback did an excellent job of, you'll see, play action pass, drilling the ball right to the hook man. And a nice run there, and he stayed up a lot longer than most people would have.
Bad news, I was so cold, the hot chocolate is now gone.
Big first down, third down play to give him a first down for Reynoldsburg.
1st and 10 now from the 48-yard line. 10:07 left third quarter. This is Seitz. Kevin gets it across midfield down to the 49-yard line.
Good defense by Fitzgerald on that play. Seitz ran real hard right up the middle. There might have been a seam a little bit more to his outside.
What a great job, too, by both bands at halftime tonight. Our thanks to everyone involved there for another great halftime show. And, you know, I thought about it, and a lot of people say, boy, it's great that you cover the bands. Some people say, we should cover more of the bands. Think about it. Do you see any more band coverage in a game than you see right here? I don't think so. So appreciate all the job done by the crew to cover the bands at halftime. And nobody gives you as much information on the bands as we do. The handoff inside goes to Hartman, the fullback, and he will gain maybe 1 on the play.
There was nothing doing on that counter dive to the fullback, and forces another 3rd down situation, Randy. But you're right about the bands. They were excellent tonight, and the coverage was great. I thought some of those people, especially in the flag corps for Pickerington, they looked like there was about 7 sisters that all looked alike. They looked good, too.
Kind of like the basketball team out there, the Lady Tigers.
Yeah, I was wondering if any of them played because they were pretty tall.
They're all tall and all good this year. And the boys, too. Pete Liptrap will do a great job as well. 3rd down, let's call it 6 with the ball resting just at the 48-yard line. Reverse perhaps. Yes, here we go, back the other way. But the pursuit is there. We also have a flag down as Cummings tries to cut it upfield. He goes down at the 47-yard line.
Well, it was a good idea, but it sure didn't fool Pickerington. They're probably going to decline this penalty and force them into a punting situation, although as far back as that flag is, it's hard to tell. They may take it.
We'll take a look at this one more time.
They've tried to set up the reverse by running some sweeps, and it initially looks like a sweep into the sideline, but here comes the flanker. Oh, yeah, and they called the quarterback for blocking below the waist, but what the heck, he's sticking his head in there. Can't blame a quarterback for getting a little aggressive every once in a while.
I think technically they could call that illegal use of hands. They might call it holding. We'll see which they call it. It looks like they might march it off because Tom McDonald, maybe we are playing that chess match again, and maybe Pickerington's hoping to hold here on 3rd down and get the ball back.
I think you're right, Ryan. I think they're probably expecting Reynoldsburg now to maybe run a draw play or a safe play, and they gain 4 or 5 yards, and then have to punt it from farther back.
Technically, that should be a legal use of hands when you give the signal with the hand open as opposed to holding. So let's call it 3rd down and a whole lot. The ball's resting at the 32-yard line. They need to get it all the way down to the Tiger 42. Let's call it 3rd and 26. 8:33 left, third quarter. Time for a screen, perhaps? Nope. Time for a handoff to Kevin Seitz, who will get it up to the 35-yard line. Be 4th and long.
Right, so it worked. Taking the penalty paid off for a few yards, and this is going to be real interesting to see what Pickerington's come up with as a game plan for the second half.
Got the earmuffs out. Maybe those pick up cable TV and she's listening to us. What do you think?
Hey, it's possible. It's a good idea. You know, I like the idea that the Reynoldsburg band seniors didn't wear their hats. They look you know, that was kind of nice to be able to see who they were.
Fair catch called for by Klinger, and I think we almost had some interference there. Are they going to throw the flag? I guess not.
Well, if they did.
Now they throw a flag. Number 52 for the Raiders was perilously close in there. That was Tony Finese. Now the flag is thrown at the 38-yard line.
Well, it should have been thrown, but it really wasn't Tony's fault. He's doing it hustling down the field, and he just got too close. You have to give him a yard to field that ball, and you'll see on the replay that he is right there on the feet of Klinger. That's a 5-yard penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
That is kick-catching interference that is called, or fair catching interference. Either one. The ball is currently resting at the 35-yard line as they explain the options right now to the Tigers after that punt of 30 yards by Kevin Sykes.
Yeah, they're talking it over. Shouldn't be much debate.
There's Jack Johnson in the gang. Jack in the short sleeve white shirt. As always, whether it's 80 above or 80 below, Jack with that same short sleeve outfit, and what a job he does at Pickerington High School year in and year out. The Tigers and the Raiders, you look at both of these teams, Tom McDonald, very, very young team.
Right, hey, they must have confidence in their punt return because they're going to make them punt it over, and I'm a little surprised because this punter does have a heck of a leg, or he's shown it earlier in the first half.
Well, again, Tom, in the first half, it was that chess match, a game of field position that Reynoldsburg eventually won on that long drive and because of a penalty. So now they march it all the way back to just around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, but they need a punter. They need a punter back there, and here he comes. And they may put some pressure on. They may be a little leery due to the roughing penalty. Maybe they'll try to set up a return.
And the Tigers aren't that deep. They're only 25 yards off the line of scrimmage. But it isn't a long kick. And Cheney comes up and makes the fair catch. A nice play right at the 46.
Sure was, and great field position now. This is an opportunity for the Tigers to see what they can do.
So the Tigers will take over on offense, 1st and 10 from the 46 as we set the Pickerington offense for you. Cheney is a split end with Harp, Elifritz, Robinson, Yurko, Balco, and Fitzgerald up front. The flanker is Jeff Cordell. In the backfield, Hornberger, the quarterback, with Hanover and Klinger, the in the backfield. From the eye, Klinger, a little collision in the backfield, and he's going to go down. Try to see the guy that comes up from the bottom of that stack. That was number 34, David Guzman, who made the play.
Guzman along with number 32, J.P. Signs, number 32 is Mike Roberts. They actually penetrated on that play and forced him into a losing situation. You know, Randy, it was interesting. Pickerington started with the passing in the first half.
Roberts, Love, Hubbard, and Coles, and you can see the back seven: Glass, Hartman, Guzman, Mobley, Denny, Downard, and Anderson for Reynoldsburg on defense. 2nd down now. Let's call it just about 11. The pitch to Klinger. Will he throw? No, he'll keep it. 45. Run down to the 40, all the way down to the 37-yard line.
Great run on the sweep, and I've got to give credit to the lead blocker again, Brian Hanover. He actually blocked 2 people on that play. Maybe not ferociously, but he screened them off enough to enable them to get outside. You'll see he's the man in front of the ball carrier in the backfield, number 45. On the toss sweep, he'll chicken wing number 89 and then go on downfield and pop the corner. Nice blocking.
But you know what? Sean Coles, the defensive end, never gave up, and he stayed there to make the tackle. Coles gets him at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 from there was 6:54.
Third and one.
Oh.
Remember they lost.
3rd and 1, that's right. Let's call it 3rd and 1.
I think you'll have your 1st and 10 after this play.
The backs from an eye is Hanover and Klinger. And it's a sneak right up the middle, it looks like. And Hornberger takes it all the way down to the 25-yard line.
Wow, on 3rd and 1, the soft middle of the Reynoldsburg defense was exploited by the Pickerington quarterback. And I'll tell you, Reynoldsburg's defense hasn't been soft anywhere tonight, but they were on that one.
Take a look at this one more time.
Nice move. He just keeps rambling forward, and they're way down to the 25, 26-yard line.
Anderson and Downard from the secondary had to make the stop. Let's mark it officially at the 26. 1st and 10 from there. 6:26 left to go, 3rd quarter. Pitch. Klinger, 25. Whoa!
Hey.
Degree of difficulty, 2.9. And the somersault gets him down inside the 20-yard line. Let's hope he's okay now.
Well, I sure hope so. He's an explosive ball carrier, but that was a great defensive effort. I think Reynoldsburg's not used to being put in these situations. They're selling out on defense on this one.
Wow, Ron is down right now, and what a hit he took.
Great effort. You'll see on the replay the toss sweep, and they're utilizing the lead block again by the fullback. And ooh my. Nice hit.
They're checking his right foot and right leg, it looks like right now, and his left leg as well. Now they've moved over to his left leg as we speak, and you can see them working on his upper leg right now. And what a gutsy player Klinger has been for the Tigers. As we said, he's a guy that's been the tailback. He can also be a backup quarterback for them as well. He gives his all and very close to 1,000 yards on the season.
Right, and actually they turn the corner on a sweep, which is what you're supposed to do, but then you'll see the great effort on defense by, I thought maybe someone who ended in a 0.
It'd be great to see that one more time if we could to pick that up, because it was a great defensive play. Unfortunately, Ron had so much momentum going. He was hit low. He just went head over heels and is now up around the 20-yard line. Now, Ron, remember, too, is a two-way starter. Starts in the secondary on defense as well for the Tigers. So you're talking about 2 of their 22 starters in Ron Klinger.
You're right. Probably their most valuable, or one of their more valuable players.
Take a look at this one more time. Boy.
Tough to tell.
We'll go home tonight on the big TV and be able to tell, right?
Well, it was great camera work, really, but they just were coming at such an angle that it was really tough to pick out from up here.
Second down, let's call it 5 with the ball at the 20-yard line. That's Hanover as we put you ground level, and Brian off left tackle down to around the 17.
Nothing fancy about that play, just straight ahead football. I think Pickerington realizes they're in 4-down territory, and it's 3rd and short.
Let's call it 3rd down and a very long one right now with 5:28 left to go, 3rd quarter. Reynoldsburg leads by a score of 7-0. The Raiders are 8-1 on the season, 5-1 in the OCC Capital. Pickerington 5-4 overall and 4-2 in league play. Chillicothe in first place, playing Mount Vernon at Chile tonight, but stranger things have happened. Klinger, and he is hog-tied back in the backfield. I think Roberts is one of the first guys in there.
Well, the sneak sure wasn't going to work that time. Reynoldsburg overloaded the middle. It was great effort. Glad to see Klinger back in there, but I don't think he got it. See on the replay, it's a little slow developing play with the fullback leading, and the blitz was on with number 32 and others, Roberts.
Ball is marked at the 17-yard line, 4th down situation, it looks like. And now a timeout is taken by Pickerington. That is their first. Unofficially, they have 2 left. Reynoldsburg with their full allotment of 3 timeouts.
Randy, that's understandable. This is a 1-touchdown game. Big 4th down play here. You got to take time to think about it.
And a reminder, if you enjoy sports on cable TV, we would love to hear from you. This is the end of our high school football season, but Columbus Horizon basketball and high school basketball just around the corner. Please take 30 seconds, drop us a line if you enjoy sports on cable TV. There's the address. This crew has given up so much of their time. 7 months of the year, they do an outstanding job. We talk about just the people in the truck, but how about the video operators back at Coaxial Communications? I'm talking about Matt Metzel and Karen and Larry and Randy in the gang. They just all do a great job. Matt's their supervisor, and Larry, my man, the big Tiger fan, is probably watching this game right now and is going to fall over when he hears me mention his name.
Well, he sure deserves it to be mentioned, Randy, because like you say, they put in countless hours doing all the dirty work.
The Gandy man is a Grandy man. Here we go. 4th down and a long one with the ball resting around the 17-yard line.
You got to give it to Klinger, don't you?
You would think so.
No.
They try the sneak with the quarterback, Hornberger. Remember, they got 12 yards when they did that last time. He needed to get the ball down to just about the 16.
He did.
And I think he got enough for the first down.
He didn't get 12, but he got, or did he? Ooh, he got a bad spot there. Now he got a better spot. On the replay, you'll see it was just a straight ahead lunge.
It's going to be close.
Center probably told Coach Johnson, hey, I can get that man out of the way. Just call my number, sir.
Ooh, he got it by just about half the length of the football. By the way, Klinger in this game now has unofficially 13 carries for 45 yards. That gives him 985 on the season, 15 away from 1,000. By the way, the ball is resting at the 16-yard line.
I'm sure he'd like to get this 15 or 16 right now, but it's not going to be easy against that stubborn Raider defense who hasn't allowed a point tonight.
1st and 10 from the 16 with 4:36 and running, 3rd quarter. Hornberger. with Fitzgerald in motion. And again, I think the Raiders bid on that one. It could be 1st and 5.
Yeah, the chain man already moved also. It's definitely 1st and 5, and that's about the 4th penalty that Reynoldsburg's had tonight on just going across the line of scrimmage when motion shows. This time Fitzgerald's going in motion. I have a good idea they're going to lead him up through there and pitch it to Klinger, but they didn't have to. They got 5 easy ones, and Reynoldsburg can't afford to give too many of those away.
And of course, it's very tempting when you're a defensive end. You see that motion, you get ready to go.
Oh yeah, and you got to be aggressive down the goal line. He's ready to come across. He's played an excellent football game, but he's got to wait till the ball snaps.
Raiders 6 penalties now for 35 yards. 1st and 5 from the 11. Hornberger. Pitch to Klinger. Taking it outside, turns it up, flag down. He's all the way down to the 8-yard line, but this one might come back.
It's gonna, Randy. It looked like the lead blocker dove and maybe hit him a little low. Sure wasn't intentional. It was a tough call, but it looks like it's gonna go against the Tigers. Good defense by Reynoldsburg is stringing out. You'll see in the toss sweep. Fullback's done a nice job. He accidentally tripped him up.
Well, they call the Tigers for a clip. And Coach, your referee, is Chuck Minter, the umpire Steve Furness, the linesman Dan Redmond, the line judge Tim Bailey, and the back judge Gerald Rohrer.
Well, it didn't look like a clip. You know, it's one of those deals where sometimes you never know where bodies are going to be turned, and the kid was trying to hit him straight ahead, but it didn't quite work, and big break for the Raiders.
Mark the ball back to the 27-yard line. Tigers have to get it all the way down to the 6. Let's call it 1st down and 21 with 4:03 left to go, 3rd quarter.
These are the situations Reynoldsburg likes to be in because they can send some people up the middle, put some pressure on the quarterback.
Play action. He's got a man in the flat and a man long. He's wide open. It's Fitzgerald. 10-5 touchdown. Matt Fitzgerald. And he almost celebrated too early, holding the ball up at around the 7-yard line. But with 3:48 left to go, it is now 7-6.
Yeah, great execution on a definite passing situation. Tell you, that's a man that you got to be looking out for if you're Reynoldsburg. Nice execution, nice touchdown, but you're right, Randy. He's got to keep that ball covered up till he hits that goal line.
Don't be a Sammy White.
On the replay, you'll see the flag and out pattern, a tough one to cover. The cornerback bit on the out, and the flag was there. Oof.
I tell you. It'd be a great time to have our first overtime game of the season,
hey, it'd be
wouldn't
fine with me. Both these teams are playing excited football, and you can expect that, Randy. Last game of the season, last game for some of the seniors ever, the one you remember.
Ernie Eichhorn with the 7 points. So with 3:48 left to go, 3rd quarter, we are tied now at 7. That drive was 10 plays, 46 yards. It took 4:01 off the clock, 27-yard touchdown pass from Hornberger to Matt Fitzgerald.
Nice play action fake, enables him to roll out, and there he is wide open, and the big man's not only a great defensive player, but an outstanding offensive threat as well.
Well, he had 15 catches coming into the game, as we said, for 263 yards, good for an average of 17.5 yards every time he touched the ball, and now he has 5 touchdowns on the season.
And how about the sophomore Hornberger? Nice poise. Put back in a situation where it was very long yardage, but he connected.
You got to love both of these teams. I'm telling you, both very, very young squads. A lot of these guys will be back. I'd say at least 3/4 of the starters from each team will be back for next season. You know, Chillicothe is going to lose a number of players, so Reynoldsburg and Pickerington could be the teams to beat next year in the OCC Capital.
You're right on that, Randy. I know Reynoldsburg is moved to the lower division of the OCC. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's enrollment, but they sure don't play like it. They look like they could play with anybody in the OCC, and tonight Pickerington does too.
There's the same formation again from the Raiders as they wait for the Tigers to deploy now in the kickoff. And as they see them move out, they move out.
I have a feeling Pickerington may have tried to pull one maybe earlier in one of their games that everybody just turned around, ran up, kicked it onside, which is perfectly legal.
Eichhorn to boot it one more time from the 40-yard line. It's a liner. Picked up by number 45, Jason Abrams, the backup fullback, and he gets up close to around the 33, 34-yard line.
Good concentration by Abrams. You know, that ball takes another bounce, and who knows who's going to recover it, but very alertly picked it up and got some plus yardage. Gives the Raiders good field position, and, you know, with 2 excellent kickers, Randy, this game could be decided by a field goal.
And 2 what we call home schools for us, because it's always a pleasure to come out to Reynoldsburg and see Athletic Director Jerry Robinson out here. And when we go to Pickerington to see Roger Young, 2 outstanding athletic directors, and they always make us feel very much at home. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Stewart with the backs in an eye behind him. Lois now shifts to the bottom of your screen. And that is Scott up to the 36. And boy, he got drilled big time. Making the stop was number 82 for the Pickerington Tigers. I believe that is Tony Wayhoff.
Tony Wayhoff hit him low, right like he should. And you'll see Reynoldsburg trying to catch Pickerington off balance. Shifted their tight end. Nice move, but boy, was he stopped.
Wayhoff with a solid hit. Guy who likes fishing, hunting, and wrestling. You couldn't tell, could you? Second down, let's call it 7 with the ball at the 36 again. Lois, the tight end, moves to the bottom.
Okay, now.
Looking for the quick pop. Now Stewart goes right. Pressure's on, and he goes down back around the 26-yard line. The last guy to get some fingers on him for the Tigers, number 60, Matt Harp.
Right, but guy that John Clark, the right cornerback, number 7, really made that play. It was a smart move, I think, by Reynoldsburg. Once Pickerington shifted with him, that left the slant with one-on-one coverage, but Clark was right up in his face, in the receiver's face, and forced him to eat the football. You'll see him look left. Number 7's covering him very well, and nothing doing. Big play there.
Third down now. Let's call it 17 with 2:12 left to go.
See if they try to hit that curl again by the split end.
That's Cummings, and he can't get to the ball at the 31-yard line.
See now, Randy, that was 3rd and about 17. That pass wouldn't have helped them a whole lot. Anyway, it forced them into a punting situation, and Pickerington's going to get the ball back with a little momentum.
We talked about the importance of this game, too. Pickerington looking for a tie for second place in the OCC Capital. Reynoldsburg trying to get it outright. Perhaps a chance with a title if Mount Vernon could pull off one of the upsets of the year at Chillicothe. The kick by sight's not a strong one. Cheney at the 44. Cheney up to the 48-yard line. He goes down right there.
And the key was he caught that ball in the air, so it didn't cost him 10 extra yards in field position by letting it bounce. Good job, and excellent field position, you said again.
Mark it at the 48-yard line after that 28-yard punt. We were talking about Chillicothe. If you missed the beginning of our broadcast, I broke the story earlier today that the Ohio High School Athletic Association earlier today reversed their Board of Control ruling and decided to ask Worthington or force them to forfeit their first 5 games of the football season. Now, as we tape this Friday night, things could have changed by Sunday because legal action could have taken place. But that's the way it stands Friday night as we tape. Klinger around right end and Ron all the way down to around the 45-yard line in Raider territory.
Did you catch their ruling on the air horns in football games, Randy?
I don't know, but I'm deaf. Either that's an air horn or the Queen Elizabeth is just docked.
You'll see this is that toss sweep, and they're able to hook the outside men. Nice block by the lead man, the fullback, and Klinger gets some extra yardage by second effort, and it's an excellent first down play. Hey, they got 8 yards.
Mark him down officially at the 44 in Raider territory. Second down and 2. 1:48 left to go, third quarter. To Hanover, the fullback, the first man through. He's close to the first down.
Yeah, I think he got it right up the middle. If he didn't, he's real close. They blitzed the outside linebacker on that play, Randy, and it looks like the Reynoldsburg community is all behind this football team, too, because they're, the crowd here is inspiring their defense to rise to the occasion, and just a great community effort tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, it's great to be out here now because we've seen the down times when the team went 0-10 and 1-9, but this community is alive. Bob Stewart has done a great job out here bringing life back to it. Jerry Robinson, the athletic director, Dan Hoffman, the principal out here at Reynoldsburg High School. Beautiful facility, great lighting. The stands are packed here. Great crowd for Pickerington as well. It's just great East Side football.
Really is. These two teams, I think they got the first down, but anyway, these two teams have great community pride. You know, bands were great. The teams are very classy. It's just the fan support's unbelievable. The boosters clubs are one group that's tremendous on both parts, and really you won't find a better organized 2 individual teams as you have tonight.
Unofficially, we have Ron Klinger with 985 yards on the season. First and 10, mark the ball at the Raider 42, 1:22 left to go. We are tied at 7. The backs from an eye. The pitch goes to Klinger. Ron gets down across the 40, down to the 38-yard line.
Well, that's still a good yardage for first down. They picked up 5, and Reynoldsburg's going to have to do something to stop that sweep because they're handling the inside stuff pretty well.
Good job by the line of the Tigers tonight. Harp, Ella Fritz, Robinson, Yurko, Balco, and you have to include the tight end Matt Fitzgerald in that as well.
think they're running to Cole's side, and that's not usually a smart thing to do. Sean Cole's a Division I prospect at 6'3", 195.
Second, and let's call it just about 5 with 37 seconds left, third quarter. This is Hanover, the fullback, right up the gut. Bryan down to around the 34.
Yes, sir. Just power football, off tackle on that play, setting up a 3rd and short. That could close out this quarter.
Unofficially now we have Klinger up to 992 yards on the season now. Down to 15 seconds left to go. Will the Tigers get off one more play on a 3rd down and less than 2 from the 34? This is Cordell wide to the bottom, Cheney to the top, the backs from an eye. Hornberger the quarterback. Klinger down to the 31, enough for a Tiger first down as we end the 3rd quarter. This is a great game. Don't miss the 4th quarter. After 3, we are tied at 7 apiece. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this. Now it's come down to 1 quarter. We are tied at 7. A full house here at Reynoldsburg High School for a 10th and final week of the regular season. Glad to have you aboard for High School Football 90. Randy Reinhardt and Tom McDonald. 1st and 10 for the Tigers of Pickerington at the Reynoldsburg Raider 31-yard line.
Looks like Reynoldsburg's going to force them to pass. They're playing 11 men within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Hanover.
I tell you, it looked like a strange play because we didn't see the tailback move, and it didn't look like a play that was designed to really show any success from the very beginning there.
Well, Randy, is designed to be a fullback trap up the middle, but with the penetration, you'll see number 57 pull, and he actually trapped the wrong person because of the alert Reynoldsburg defense up the middle. And basically, they were there to stop the fullback, force a 2nd and long. Let's see if they play run again.
And we didn't see the right side, the far right side of the line move either. Strange looking play. 2nd down and 10 now from the 31. 11:25 left to go, 4th quarter. Hornberger rolls left, pressures there, goes back to his right, and he is brought down back around the 45-yard line. Sean Coles, a man who stays on his feet, gets back to the 46 and nails Hornberger.
And Steve Hubbard did a nice job too. Great defensive pressure by Reynoldsburg, and we got some excited people here. You'll see he wants to roll out to his left and throw the pass to the tight end that they scored on. Nothing doing, and there they are.
Defensive end Roberts did a good job of containing the left side that time. As he rolled that way, Mike said, "You're not going wide." So Mr. Hornberger said, "Well, I'll try back the other way," and Coles was waiting for him.
Boy, Coles smothered him. Now, the last time, however, that Pickerington had a long situation like they do now, they converted. And I'm sure Reynoldsburg remembers that, and they're going to play the pass a little bit more loosely this time.
3rd and 22. Hornberger straight back. The screen to Klinger is incomplete.
Screenless screen. Actually, there was no lineman out there. Would have had to put a one-on-one move on Eric Love to get some yardage, and what the heck? It was worth the gamble. That sack took him out of field goal position. They're going to have to punt the football.
Stats through 3 quarters. Pickerington with 8 first downs. Reynoldsburg with 3. Yards rushing unofficially. Pickerington with 92. Reynoldsburg with 9. Total yards 126 for the Tigers, 69 for the Raiders. Plays 37 for the Raiders, 35 for the Tigers. 10 penalties in this game. 6 for the Raiders for 45 yards. 4 for Pickerington for 55. The kick by Eichhorn is high and will hit around the 21-yard line and bounce right into the arms of a waiting Tiger right there in the person of number 86, Jason Vipperman.
Yes, sirree, and now the crowd once again is trying to get their beloved Raiders going on this side of the field. They haven't done a whole lot tonight, Randy, but 4th quarter time, gut check time, last quarter of the year, we'll see what happens.
And if we don't do anything else, we're getting the air horn from this guy before this game is over. 1st and 10, mark it officially now at the 21-yard line. Stewart brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Canes wide to the bottom. He's looking for him. The pass is complete across the 30, all the way out to the 34-yard line.
Nice touch on the football. He threaded the needle between the two Pickerington defenders. Great catch, great pass. It's just a quick pass and a gutsy call on 1st down way down here. But look at the slant in. Nice catch and tuck by the receiver.
Canes has a 57-yard touchdown catch against Cleveland Rhodes and a 32-yarder against Franklin Heights. He's just a sophomore. They started looking to him more in the second half of the season and more here in the second half of this game. 1st and 10 from the 34.
Very sure-handed man. That loosened the Tiger secondary and defense too, so now they have a chance to run the ball.
This is Scott, but he goes nowhere. He's brought down back around the 31-yard line.
They're sure keying on Scott. And Chad Klein, Jr., was all over him, number 62. You'll see this is the counter gap play where they pull the right guard and right tackle will come across. You see him coming, number 63 there. And here's 62 right in there, Klein. Good tackle.
Chad, 6 feet, 208 pounds, a defensive tackle who is just a junior. We talked about the youth. Both of these teams, second down and 13, 9:16 left to go, tied at 7. Stewart calling the signals with the backs from an eye. Pitches to Seitz, who tries to cut it inside. He'll gain maybe 2 on the play, and that is it. The pursuit was there. I'll tell you, a guy who really made that play was number 57, Tony Janacek.
You're right. The outside linebacker blitzed right between the guard tackle gap, and that's where that play was designed to go. No one was there to block him, and he wrapped up real well and forces a 3rd and long.
Do you think Canes again?
I'll tell you, I think they're going to throw the football, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the Canes.
Remember, Lois caught the touchdown pass. We talked about the running game, and each team has scored a touchdown this game via the pass.
Cummins is also a good receiver.
Stewart, play action, looking. The pass is for Cummings. It looks like along the far sideline. He made the catch. Nice call, Tom McDonald. You got to be a coach.
Well, that was a big play, and that pass is not easy to complete, Randy. That's a tough pass. Good defense, great pass, though, and great catch by Cummins.
Oh, this is a great way to end the season between the foghorn and the crowd. We can't hear anything.
You'll see on the replay, look at the time he's got. He's able to step towards the target, put the ball right on the money, and like I say, it really was good coverage, but great effort on a big 3rd down play.
Cummings had a 21-yard touchdown catch against Chillicothe earlier this season. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line.
And he's only a junior, and we're going to go to him again.
And he makes the catch, and all the way down to the 47-yard line. What a catch. That was a great adjustment by Cummings, changing shoulders to come down with that football.
It sure was. He looked way over his head to make that catch. It was another excellent pass. This kid, if he can throw the out route like this as a junior, he's going to be great if he works hard this summer. Oh, great. We get to see the inside receiver on a simple 5-yard out. Now watch him look way over his shoulder and make the great catch before he's pounded out of bounds.
And Clark with the nice stick marked the ball down to the 46-yard line. 2nd down and 1. 8:26 left to go. This is Scott. Scott is brought down right around the 44, and you have to give the Tiger defense credit, Tom McDonald. They have shut down Carl Scott tonight.
They sure have, and that's Janacek again, who's been in as many tackles as anybody tonight. Not enough to stop the 1st down, though, because of the short yardage. You'll see the old isolation play. Nice kick-out block by number 50. And I know his name now because they switched numbers. Rodemeyer.
Rodemeyer, yeah, with a good job there. And here we go with the 1st and 10 for the Raiders from the Tiger 44. We check the clock again, down to 8:07 left to go in this game. Stewart with Cummings in motion. Hands off to the fullback. The first man through, that is Hartman. Hartman carries one man all the way down to the 36-yard line. But that guy, I believe, is Vipperman, and he hangs on to make the stop right there.
It's a good thing he did for Pickerington, but that was a great cutback by the fullback. I'll tell you, most fullbacks can't cut back against the grain like this. And then he bounces forward for another big gain on 1st down, and that's really been important.
Hartman is an inside linebacker and a fullback who can run the 40 and under 4.7. And he goes 6 feet, 200 pounds.
Boy, oh boy, that's nice to have a guy like that.
Confusion in the backfield. Stewart will keep it. He gives ground. Oh, no, back to the 36-yard line. And when he does that, the Tigers are able to make the big play in the person of number 82, Tony Wayhoff.
Boy, did he save a big play there. I don't know if that was designed or not. Almost looked like it was a naked boot, which you'll see. I don't think it was, but the quarterback definitely knew what to do with it when he made the mistake of not pitching the ball. It's just a great defense by Wayhoff to stop a sure 1st down.
That was your basic ankle tackle right there. 3rd down and a little more than 2. 6:58 left to go. The ball rests at the 36-yard line. We have an official's timeout right now as we're going to have one of the Tigers who needs some equipment repaired, and that could be Wayhoff. Yep. He's got a problem perhaps with his helmet.
Well, you never know what they're going to call, Randy, but when it's a official's timeout and the quarterback kind of sneaks back and talks to his running back, Carl Scott, there's a chance, just a chance, that Scott may be getting the ball on this play.
3rd down and 2. He's called them all so far. Tom, you dog. Oh, he's still on his feet. Carl Scott with 3rd effort all the way down to the 30. He looked like a grasshopper. stopper on that play.
That must have been what the quarterback was telling. Hey, Carl, you're going to need second and third effort on this one to get the first down, but we know you can do it. On the replay, you'll see it's designed to go to the right, the isolation play. But notice he, like the fullback, can cut back.
Oh!
His knee never did touch. Great effort.
They call it the Scott Hop, and it gets down to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from there with 6:44 left to go. We are tied at 7. And now the Tigers have taken a timeout. That is their second. Pickerington with 1 timeout left. Reynoldsburg unofficially, Tom, has their full allotment of 3.
Right, and I don't know about using your second timeout there, but let's face it. They've got to settle their team down. They really haven't played bad defensively. It's just been one play each series that has cost them. And really, you'll see on this replay, they played good defense here, but it's just great effort by this back.
You know, I remember this game from last year. I think it was 17-13. A couple of years ago we did it. I believe Reynoldsburg won that contest by a score of 6-3. They won that game last year as well. Also, a few years ago, I think back in like 1986, Pickerington won this game 34-31 in overtime. So always a great game when these two get together. Bob Stewart in his 36th year saying, guys, it doesn't get any easier. I thought if I'd stick around this long, things would get a little easier.
Well, you're sure not going to fluster him because both these coaches have been through battles and wars and battles and wars. And, you know, this is what they thrive on and why they're still down there.
Bob with 3 decades at Eastmore High School.
Yes, and then outstanding benefit to the Ohio State staff for a couple years.
3 years as a volunteer assistant under Earl Bruce, and that's the story here at Reynoldsburg High School. Raider Stadium, 7-7. The Raiders with perhaps the drive of the game at the 30-yard line. The go, go, go crowd on their feet here on the Reynoldsburg sideline.
They sure are.
To Scott, he's got room, but the corner is cut off. I tell you, the man who made that play was the guy we talked about before, Wayhoff, number 82.
He's done an outstanding job. Most of the Tiger defenders have. And, Rand, let's keep in mind that Tony Masseri, the kicker for Reynoldsburg, has a great leg. I don't know if he's quite in field position yet. Let's look at the pitch here. Looks like he's going to cut it upfield, but a nice tackle. He still lunged forward for 4, and that's a great individual effort.
It is. Let's call it 2nd down and 6 now. 6:15 left to go, 4th quarter, tied at 7. The backs from an eye. This time it's Seitz.
Seitz,
the tailback.
Might run up the middle more with Seitz. Oh, a pass.
Play action. They've got Lois, the tight end. They've also got Hartman. They throw it to Hartman down to around the 20-yard line.
Gutsy call on 2nd and short, and it looks to me like they're going to be real close to the 1st down. I don't think they have it.
See where they mark his knee down. It looks like it's closer to the 21.
You'll see on the replay the man in motion, but the fullback seeks through the inside of the line. Nice concentration, nice toss, and it's going to create a 3rd and about a foot.
He went down at the 21, and Tom, I think the Tigers thought what you thought when they saw Seitz in there. They were thinking a play up the middle. They fell for the fake, and this time the pass was open to Hartman, the fullback.
Right, Seitz was probably in there for decoy and blocking purposes.
3rd and inches. This is Scott. Gets around right in, and he is down to the 18-yard line, enough for a 1st down. The last guy to fall on him was number 7, John Clark.
And you can see the wear and tear of this ballgame is beginning to take an effect on Pickerington's 2-way players. They've done super job on defense, but it looks like Reynoldsburg now seems to have the upper hand. Their offensive line is firing out much better than they have been.
1st and 10 from the 18, down to 5:12 left to go in this game. We are tied at 7. The Raiders trying to go 9-1, and I'll tell you, they haven't had a record that good in the last 25 years. Scott now with 14 carries, 35 yards. Stewart to Scott. Looks inside. Gets what he can, and that looks to be about a yard.
Yeah, 1 or 2, Randy, only because of individual efforts. He dove forward and picked up his body length, which was about 5 feet.
Here's a guy in Carl Scott who's listed at 140. When he's soaking wet, he probably weighs 130. That he'll run it inside. He's very durable. He's played 10 full games, and he's probably one of the biggest surprises for the Reynoldsburg Raiders this season.
He sure is, Randy. And I'll tell you what, I'm not so sure that Reynoldsburg, I'm wondering if they're going to try to throw the ball and get the touchdown, if we're going to try to get in field goal position.
2nd and 8 from the 16-yard line. Jeff Stewart. Hands off to Scott. Scott inside the 10-yard line, close to the 9 before he's brought down.
And right between the goalposts too, Randy. So that was served both purposes for the Reynoldsburg Raiders.
And more importantly now, too, the clock winding down. Just over 4 minutes left to go in this game. 3rd down, let's call it 1.
Let's watch the counter gap again. You'll see nice kick out blocked by the guard. Big number 79's rambling upfield for an extra block. The Tiger offense is supercharged.
A pass would be a gutsy call here.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see it.
Stewart, nope. Right off left tackle. And the Raiders all the way down to close to the 5-yard line. That is Scott on the carry. Let's call it 1st and goal from the 6.
1st and goal from the 6. And with time being a factor, you're right, Rand. This is really playing in the Reynoldsburg's hands. It's going to be a tough 6, though.
Remember, the Tigers have only 1 timeout left. Are they going to burn it right now? Oh, boy. Maybe they feel it's do or die time, or maybe they need a little help out there with the ball down on the 6, 1st and goal with 3:33 left to go. You know what? I'm going to see if I can get the air horn from this guy. You're going to watch the steal of the game right here. Watch somebody do this live on TV.
You can get it, Randy.
Can I see that? Can I see that for a second? I just want to see it for a second. Just let me see it. No, let me see it. Let me see it.
See the horn? See the horn fly.
I touched it and I couldn't get it. Doggone it. We tried.
Yeah,
you got a spare one?
No, we were counting on
He's
that.
got an extra one. I hope it's a can of deodorant to his surprise. We are tied at 7 with 5:11 left to go in the first half. A 23-yard touchdown pass from Stewart to Lois made it 7-0. We'll take a look at this touchdown pass one more time.
Notice the technique that he laid the ball right up over the defender. A perfect pass and a great catch.
Masseri added the PAT. Then with 3:48 left to go in the third quarter, a 27-yard touchdown pass from Hornberger to Fitzgerald.
Yes, and that tied it up, and now we're right down here, 1st and goal on the 5 or 6 yard line.
I've got part of the air horn right here. I've got it. I've got it. Yes, yes, yes. But he's got another one. A lot of good that does, right? I tried. Here we go. 1st and goal with the ball at the 6-yard line. The handoff goes to Scott inside. Second effort will get him down inside the 4 maybe.
Nice second effort, and Janacek was in there again, as has been so often the case. He's playing possessed tonight.
Clock moves down to 3:15 left to go. Mark the ball officially at the 4. 2nd down and goal from there. Remember, Masseri, an excellent kicker if it would ever come down to that for the Raiders.
Roll them.
Masseri with 6 field goals on the season, but 2nd and goal right now from the 4. Roberts, the second tight end in motion. Off the left side, Scott goes down inside the 3, lost his balance.
On that time, Reynoldsburg they actually motioned to an unbalanced line, creating an extra man advantage, but Pickerington adjusted very well. They practiced it, must have worked on it in practice and shut that down. 3rd down, Randy.
3rd and goal. The ball just inside the 4-yard line. The clock now down to 2.5 left to go in this game.
What do you
Tied
do?
at 7.
What do you do, Randy?
Do you have sights in there?
You have the ball, you run the ball to the middle of the field. That's what you do.
I don't know. I think you take it to the right, go to the wide side of the field. You run to the right, but maybe a rollout from Stewart.
And they might come back against the grain.
Roberts in motion to the left, though. They pitch right, flags down. Scott can go. He's in. But there's a flag down with 2:05 left to go. A flag resting at the 4-yard line, so keep your pants on.
Yeah, we got the cameras there. One team will be very, very happy, and one team will be, and it's the Tigers that are the happy ones. This one's coming back on the replay. You'll see they tried to force him to just back, and then a nice kick-out block and great effort by the running back. I'll tell you what, he's a great one, Scott.
A legal procedure is the call on the Raiders. So that'll march the ball back to around the 8-yard line. The time remaining 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
The legal procedure, wouldn't that go from where the ball was snapped?
Right, which was just inside the 4-yard line back to around
the 8. Yeah, but it was
8.
over on this hash here.
Oh, you're talking about at the beginning of the play.
Right, if it's a legal procedure or something.
I thought you were talking about the particular line of scrimmage. So mark the ball on the right hash, Tom. The ball resting just past the 8-yard line, closer towards the 9 right now. 3rd down and goal.
Maybe they'll throw it to number 15, Scott. Run it a few times. Let's see if they can get him out in the flat.
The pass is overthrown for Hartman in the end zone with 1:59 left to go. And do you bring Mr. Masseri onto the field? Yes, you do.
He's already out there. Excellent coverage by Klinger. Nice rollout action.
Tony with 6 field goals on the season, 19 extra points, a total of 37 points. He is number 6 in kick scoring in the area.
He's a great leg, and they've worked real hard on the kicking game here at Reynoldsburg. And I know they have a lot of confidence in him.
It would look to be something around a 26-yard field goal attempt.
I think you're exactly right, but it is from an angle, a slight angle, and of course they've worked on it from this angle many times, including earlier tonight.
1:59 left to go in this game.
Here would have been an opportunity had Pickerington saved one of their timeouts to maybe try to ice him. But with their full contingent of timeouts already being used, they're going to have to just go for it unless Reynoldsburg calls timeout. They're taking a long time.
You move it back 5 yards to cut down on the angle a little bit?
I've seen crazier things.
26-yard field goal attempt with 1:59 left to go. The snap, the kick, it's a low liner, it is no good. The kick is no good, only 1 second went off the clock, and the Tigers with a big break. We are still tied at 7.
Boy, they dodged a bullet there, Randy, and they're a very happy bunch. Reynoldsburg's got to realize, though, they still have the field position and their great defense.
And the Raiders still have 3 timeouts left. Take a look at this play one more time when the Raiders thought they got into the end zone.
Right, this is the sweep, yes, and notice he just scampers to the corner, stiff arms a man, dives across the line, and that would have been enough under normal situations, but we had a violation prior to that.
But the illegal procedure brought it back 5 additional yards, so now, after the missed field goal, the Tigers take over on their 20-yard line, 1:58 left to go, 1st and 10 from there. They have no timeouts left. The pitch goes to Klinger. Klinger out across the 20, still on his feet, down to around the 23. Did he go out of bounds? Yes, he did. Now, who's that a break for?
That's a break for Pickerington, I truly believe. And Randy, you mentioned earlier that Klinger was a quarterback. They've run a lot of sweeps, and there's the old halfback pass play, and maybe they ran left to set him up coming back to the right here. Of course, like you say, they got to be careful. They don't want to give Reynoldsburg the ball back either.
Do you play for overtime?
I don't think you do. You've still got plenty of time left. And they have a good field goal kicker as well.
Cheney line to the bottom of the screen. 1:51 left to go. 2nd down and 7. The ball rests at the 23-yard line. Hornberger straight back to throw. He looks. The pass is caught across the 30 and out of bounds. 1st down. Completion goes to number 30. That is Cordell.
And Cordell made an excellent point of keeping both feet in bounds, making sure of the 1st down, and then getting out of bounds. Excellent decision on his part.
Cordell, a guy who was also on the state qualifying relay team, so he's got a lot of speed as we take a look at this one more time.
Nice protection, you'll see, and there's another out route that's not easy to complete, but both quarterbacks are showing excellent character tonight.
1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. 1:45 left to go in this game. The backs from an eye. The pitch again goes to Klinger. Klinger is brought down. The ball is free. Who got it? Did the Raiders get the ball?
I think they did. They did.
Number 59 comes up with the ball. That would be Steve Hubbard. What a break. The Raiders with the ball and 1:39 left on the clock.
It's amazing. Those guys that were just walking off the field for Reynoldsburg are now sprinting back onto the field because they're excited. They know they're going to get another opportunity. And I imagine Mr. Janicek, I'm sorry, I'll tell you who's really happy. Has to be that kicker, doesn't it, Masseri?
Take a look at this one more time. Klinger on the pitch sweep.
And of course, you're going to run that sweep to the sideline so you can get out of bounds, and since you don't have any timeouts, but excellent penetration by the defensive end. Stripped the football. And
1st and 10 from the 32, 1:25 and running. Reynoldsburg has 3 timeouts left. Stewart back to throw. He's looking. The pressure's on. He's hit. The ball is free. Was he throwing the ball? They say no. And the Tigers have the ball now out at the 47-yard line. Pickerington comes up with the football. Coming up with it, it looks like number 32, J.P. Sines.
It was Sines, and now here they come back off, and there go the Tigers running back on. What a difference a play makes.
So the Tigers gain about 15 yards on that change of possession. They have it 1st and 10 from the Raider 47-yard line, 1:15 left.
You know, Randy, could have been a lot more, too. They could have picked up that ball on the fumble, but he fell on it smartly. You'll see on the replay, he does have enough time to throw the football. Double pumps it, and that's where the big hit occurred.
Ella Fritz with the pressure on the play. 1st and 10 from the 47. 1:09 left to go. Hornberger. Klinger. He's going to throw it this time. The pressure's on. He goes down back at the 36-yard 20-yard line.
Well, we had predicted they might be setting that up, but really they didn't disguise it at all. He almost tried to cock his arm right when he got the ball. You see there was pressure right
And
away.
Tom, he only had one receiver deep, and there were 3 Raiders back deep in the secondary.
They were probably alert. But anyway, it's worth a shot. Hey, what the heck? Time's running out. Give it a shot. Now I have a feeling that neither team's going to get too aggressive.
Raiders
go for OT.
Still have their 3 timeouts left. Roberts made the big play defensively for Reynoldsburg. Down to 30 seconds left to go. Second down and a bunch. Let's call it 19 with the ball resting just inside the 37. Hand off inside. The Tigers will keep it on the ground. It looks like we're playing for overtime.
That should do it for this game. Regulation. We should get a 3-minute break and be ready to roll.
Now in overtime, what happens is you have another coin toss. Each team will get the ball at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 from there. And now the Raiders are going to take a timeout with 6 seconds left to go.
Not a good move. Now that Pickerington can air one out, maybe get an interference call, maybe get a lucky tip. I don't like that call. It's only 3rd down. It had been 4th down, sure. Force them to punt, but on 3rd down with 6 seconds left.
Do you think maybe they were trying to tell them to call the timeout sooner?
I imagine they might have, but either way, I'll tell you, they have 2 plays. You know, suppose they run the clock down now to 2 seconds and call another timeout. Hey, why not go for it on 4th down? The play's going to take 2 seconds.
I'll explain overtime again. You have the coin toss, then each team will each get the ball on the 20-yard line. They both play on the same end normally. That way that equalizes any difference in field conditions or weather conditions. And it's 1st and 10 from the 20 yards away. Your team has the possession from there. If they score or their possession is ended, the other team gets the ball at the 20. If the pass would be intercepted or a fumble, that would end that possession. If we are tied after each team possesses the ball once, we go to a second overtime the same way. The last time we had an overtime game on cable TV was back in 1985, and Reynoldsburg lost to Whitehall by a score of 38-35 in triple overtime.
What a memory. We got the 3-man rush, the 5 under and 3 deep zone. Tough to complete anything on. They run the trap. Good call.
Hanover still on his feet. Now he's not. Down to the 48-yard line. The clock reads nothing but zeros. No flags on the play. We are at the end of regulation, tied at 7. We will be back with overtime right after this. Stay tuned. Well, we've got Michael Myers in the truck, and we've got another Mr. Myers in the stands there. Halloween a little early here at Reynoldsburg High School. It is crazy here at Reynoldsburg. We are tied at 7 between the Raiders and the Tigers, getting ready for overtime right now. Each team with 1 touchdown pass and a converted extra point. We stand at 7 apiece. We're ready for the coin toss in overtime. And Tom, it's been a few years since we've seen an overtime here on cable TV, but I said the last one we saw was a triple overtime affair between Reynoldsburg, by the way, and Whitehall.
Well, we get a triple overtime, and we may be here till Halloween. I don't know, but both defenses have played well, and I know it's an old cliche that neither team deserves to lose, but one of them's going to eventually, and I think we ought to point out prior to that, Randy, that really both teams have given us a great effort tonight. Their seniors have risen to the occasion, knowing it's their last game.
Now, Tom, let me ask you something. If you win the toss, do you defer your option here and go second? You want to see what the other team does first?
Without a doubt, I would, yes, because then the field goal could win it if you hold them.
All right.
You can play for a field goal.
The captains are out the center of the field right now. The options being explained. A great job by the officiating crew, Chuck Minner and the gang, as they flip the coin. The call has been made by the Tigers, and let's see. We'll wait for Chuck and the gang to let us know what happens. Remember, the Tigers, if they win the toss, would have the option of going first or going second. And we're going down to the right side of the field here.
Right on. And, of course, this field's in such great shape that it wouldn't matter.
Pickerington won the toss. They deferred their option. They're going to go second. So Reynoldsburg will get the ball first, and they'll have it 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. So the Tigers opt to do what we talked about, Tom. They won the toss. They said, hey, we'll go second. Reynoldsburg, you can have it first. That way you kind of get the feel, I guess, to see whether you need a field goal or a touchdown.
I think that's right, because both of them have outstanding kickers, too. So
Ernie Eichhorn's done a great job all season for the Tigers, taking over for Rich Gallagher, who did it earlier in the season. Actually, Pickerington with 2 outstanding kickers, a rarity in high school football, especially here in Central Ohio.
Sure is, and I was out to practice this week, and both of them put in a little OT of their own. As a a matter of fact, working on that kicking game.
So the situation is we'll have no time on the clock. You have 25 seconds between plays, and that's it. That's kept down on the field. The only thing we'll watch on the scoreboard is the down and distance where the ball is and the score in this game. No time on the clock. 1st and 10 now for the Raiders from the 20-yard line. This is their possession. Stewart to Scott inside, and boy, it looked like Scott had an opening to the right, and he got nailed right around the 18-yard line.
There's that Fitzgerald again. You appear to have some openings, but when he's there, forget it.
It looked like he picked him off the ground, literally.
And of course, he's a very quick runner, but on the cutback, nothing doing this time.
Yep.
Fitzgerald just waited and searched and destroyed.
And a timeout now is taken by Reynoldsburg.
Oh, Randy, while we got this timeout, I wanted to point out something very good that I saw. David Glass, if you remember, was injured, had his pads off.
Right.
He was actually out there and got injured again on the last play of the game. By good news, I mean he came back and played, and as a senior, he didn't want to miss it.
Now, if you're watching this game, especially Friday night, catch it again Sunday morning on Coaxial 42 and All-American Channel 10, because if you're watching the Sunday morning, it doesn't matter when it's playback. It's the last time it's going to be on. But remember, we'll be on for high school basketball starting the end of this month. I'll be joined by Ray Miller for the best high school basketball action in Central Ohio.
Yes, and Ray Miller's really excited about being back and joining you, Randy. And he appreciates your leadership and all the things you do for him.
You have brought such insight. I watch college and pro football games, and the guys don't know half as much as you, or call the plays as well as you do. Tom
Yeah.
McDonald, I just thank God every morning that he's not on the sidelines and he's up here with us.
I wonder what college games you're watching.
The ESPN Ivy League
There
game.
you go. Well, there it is.
2nd down and 9 now with the ball at the 19-yard line. We are tied at 7 in the first overtime. This is Scott. Tries outside, tries inside. There is nada there.
And there hasn't been much there all night. Matt Harp, among others, was in there on that play, and really the whole defense for both teams, and Pickerington especially, has done an outstanding job stopping the running game.
Tom, as we look at this replay, is there a tendency to get a little tight in the overtime?
Well, no, I don't think Reynoldsburg is too worried about that because they were very loose. They appear to have been so far, but look for them to throw the ball on this play.
3rd down and 9 with the ball back across the 19-yard line.
I think they'll send 20 in motion and try to hit the split end on a hook route.
Stewart with pressure on. He goes down back around the 30-yard line. And the worst news for the Raiders is if they want to try a field goal now, they're about 47 yards away.
What a play by Greg Elifritz. And you're right, Randy, that is going to be almost a 50-yard field goal, and they're going to try it. They're going to try it. They're not afraid. Masseri can kick them. It's going to be, what, a 47-yarder?
47-yard field goal attempt. We'll keep it right here. Masseri with Downard holding. The snap, the kick. The leg is going to be a little short. It will bounce at the 1 and go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Raiders do not score on their possession. So now the Tigers know all they need is 3 points to win this game. So now Pickerington will get the ball 1st and 10 from that same 20-yard line.
Right, and I think you'll see a little more conservative play calling, although, you know, I've been wrong many times. But really, they are already in field goal range, Randy. So they don't want to do anything to mess it up. Now, you see they've had success with this motion. They pass almost every time out of it. Play action, but the blitz was on. Nice hit. And
Elifritz.
Tony, don't get too discouraged, though, son. That was a nice effort. And that's tough for college and pro kickers to make.
Elifritz got his sack out a little early for Halloween there, and like the treat he found inside. 1st and 10 from the 20. That is Cordell in motion. Right up the gut. This is Hanover. He puts it right in the middle of the field. He'll get it maybe to the 18-yard line.
Right, and they didn't go to Klinger on 1st down. An interesting decision. They're just going to try to plow it straight ahead maybe for a couple plays and go for the kick. I'll tell you, everybody on Reynoldsburg's team's up off their bench, as is the Tiger bench. Everybody's into this ball game.
Icorn, as we said, would be the kicker for the Tigers, although Allender can kick him as well. 2nd down, let's call it just about 8 from the 18-yard line. Possession number 2 of the first overtime. Hand off inside. Klinger inside the 10, all the way down to the 8-yard line.
Boy, that was a touchdown-saving, game-saving tackle, at least for the time being, by number 34, who's played an outstanding football game tonight, Dave Guzman. you know, Randy, David Glass is in there. He's not 100%, but he's in there fighting his heart out.
He's
number
incredible.
28.
Look at this one more time.
See the replay. Excellent acceleration up the middle, and a big first down for the Tigers.
And Klinger is over 1,000 yards on the season.
All right. Well, that's taking that overtime to get it.
We are tied at 7. Here we go. First and goal. The ball just inside the 9-yard line. Klinger pulls his way inside to just around the 6-yard line.
I'm sure he'd trade all of them in for this win. One thing that Pickerington's got to be wary of is the penalty.
Mark it officially at the 5.
We had an overtime game once or twice, and I was always worried when we get down this close that we wouldn't get to see the yellow flag come out.
Second and goal from the 5. Cordell wide to the bottom, Cheney to the top. It is Hanover and Klinger in the backfield behind Hornberger. This is Klinger off the right side. Drives down to the 3.
Oh boy, good defense up front. Reynoldsburg penetrated that time, led by Steve Hubbard.
Which number was it?
I think it was 58.
That'd be
59,
Jeff.
I mean.
Steve is 59, yeah.
See on the replay.
The Hubbards have done a great job all evening for the Raiders. Here we go, third down and goal. The ball just inside the 3-yard line.
They almost have to run up the middle, though, don't they, Randy?
I would think so.
Probably to the left slightly.
Keep the ball in the middle of the field. If they don't score, they'll set it up for Eichhorn. And Klinger dives. He breaks the play to the goal line. And we don't need the extra point. There are no flags down on the play. It's all over. So in overtime, Pickerington comes out with a 13-7 win. They advance their record to 6-4 on the season. Reynoldsburg, nothing to be ashamed of. They go to 8-2. So it's all over in overtime. The final, Pickerington 13, Reynoldsburg 7. We'll be back with some closing comments in just a moment. Welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School. It's all over in overtime. Pickerington wins by a score of 13-7. The Tigers go to 6-4 on the season. The Raiders of Reynoldsburg are now 8-2. Tom, we saved the best for last, didn't we?
We really did, Randy. It was a great effort like we talked about all night. Both teams playing solid defense. When it came down to crunch time at the end, though, Klinger and company did the job.
I think Klinger had 18 of the 20 yards inside the 20 there.
He did. He had almost every carry on the final drive, including that selling out in the last play, and he deserves everything that he got.
All right, let's take a look now at the unofficial team stats for this contest. And as you reflect upon the numbers, you'll note that in total yards, this game was very, very close. Total plays, though, the Raiders with an edge of 14 plays.
Yes, I think the key there was they didn't gain many yards, but they gained enough to get those first downs in crucial situations. And if it wasn't for that one penalty calling back that touchdown, we could have had a different outcome.
Tigers with nearly 100 yards on the ground in this contest. As we said, Pickerington goes to 6-4 on the season. Reynoldsburg falls to 8-2. Time now to check out our Sports Medicine Grant players of the game, one from each team. First of all, from Pickerington, we picked the outstanding tailback and defensive back, Ron Klinger.
Yes, Ron Klinger played very well offensively with 75 yards, and he also played good on defense. Special teams, he returned the opening kickoff for several yards, and really, we had great team defense, but we had to give it to an individual, and Ron Klinger deserved it.
And another two-way player gets a nod for Reynoldsburg, a guy who was an inside linebacker and a fullback, Chad Hartman. Chad Hartman.
Yes, Hartman did a nice job blocking on an offensive standpoint and was all over the field on football with an equally talented defensive team effort, but we had to give it to someone, and I think Hartman deserved it.
Scoring in this game, first of all, with 5:11 left to go in the half, a 23-yard touchdown pass from Stewart to Lois. The PAT was good, 7-0 Raiders. Then with 3:48 left to go in the third quarter, Hornberger with a great pass to Fitzgerald, who took it in from 27 yards out. We were tied at 7. We went to overtime, and Pickerington with a touchdown. Klinger taking it in from 2 yards out, and they win by a score of 13-7. Tom, it's been a great season, a great way to end it. Any final thoughts on the 1990 football season?
Well, I certainly enjoyed it. We really did have an outstanding season of football. We had a great final game, and on behalf of some of the people here, Randy, they wanted to present you with this air horn, tribute to your game tonight.
Put it on my clipboard. Thank you. A lot of hot air, the story of my life. And as you watch the credits tonight, reflect upon the names that you see on the screen. This crew is the best. They're number one. They do a great job. We couldn't do it without them. But most importantly, our thanks to the sponsors, too, and our thanks to you for watching. Our final score again here, 13-7, Pickerington over Reynoldsburg in overtime. For Tom McDonald, I'm Randy Reinhardt. So long, everybody, from Reynoldsburg High School. The executive producers for High School Football 90 are Joel Rudich and Bill Gilbert. Tonight's game was produced by Drexel Yokoyama and directed by Michael Myers. Preceding production has been an exclusive presentation of Coaxial Communications, The Horizon, coming up in 2 weeks on cable TV. So long, everybody.